Holy
Whoa,
live department.
we are so back.
Are we back?
It has been over 2
It
weeks.
has been. It has been. Yeah. I was in the East Coast for my wife's side family reunion. So as a we had to move it up a little early the previous episode. And so it was on a Monday. And now that's 2 extra days we had to wait.
Yeah, it was the early week Machamps last time. Now we are officially back as midweek Machamps. It's just you and I. It feels like it's been so long, and but it feels like the first time, you know. And yeah, you know what I mean. It's just so novel and feeling so fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I mean,
what about last time? I feel like we had a kind of a unique show last time around.
yeah, well, that was exactly what I was going to say. So last stream was our 26th. That was basically our 1 year anniversary stream. And we had on our right hand guys. We had your brother Trey and my guy JT. And we tier listed the Neo Shinings and the crystals. And I felt, and the comments seemed to feel this way, that it might have been our most fun episode ever. Maybe not the most information dense or whatever, but definitely the most fun. So if folks missed it, they should definitely go check it back out. But yeah, man, we're always mixing it up. We're mixing a few things up today that that everyone will see in the tall grass. So yeah, man, it's fun, more fun than ever.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really good time. And I actually read through the comments today of that last stream. Man, our guy JT got so much love.
So much love.
The internet loves his suave humor, his love for Shining Charizard.
Yes.
So pass on my regards to our guy JT.
Of course. I let him know. I was on the train in the East Coast when I was reading the comments for the first time, and I texted him. I was like, if you haven't read those comments, you got to go read them because it's gonna boost your day, man. There's a lot of love in there for you. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Obviously, it's like really fun to debate and tier list cards. We've done that. I think that was our third time doing it, and it's been fun and a little contentious and silly every time, but we always kind of land on something that's actually feels really close to like truth. And I think in this case we had two guys that bring out the silliness in you and I, but we also have obviously like a lot of history and rapport and comfort there. So it was just an opportunity for us to truly just talk Pokemon with our guys for 3 hours on air, and it was a blast. And the chat was super participatory in the tier list. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, that energy, like the collecting energy, the passion, the nostalgia, the individuality that you can kind of put into Pokemon, that really is the foundation for this whole bit, you know. Yeah, yes, we do the whole business thing.
Yeah.
But we're hardcore collectors too.
Totally. And all of us played the games to some real level growing up. So, yeah, anyway, just a lot of nostalgia there. I've actually been reflecting on that a lot because as you know, we were talking about this earlier, I stepped away from shows for like 6 weeks by design, not like to take a break or anything, but it was like, what happens if we do? What happens to the business? What happens to my energy and my enthusiasm? And I'm excited to do a show again this weekend. But yeah, I've been reflecting a lot in that downtime on the like the collector-y hobbyist part of it. And it just sort of made me surprising myself the extent to which I still, at the end of each month, look at the numbers and then I go, what cards can I get with that? Like, what can I guilt-free? It's the exact same thing that I was like, it's the same thing as 2 years ago, just with like bigger numbers and bigger stakes because it's my job now. But I just, as soon as my bills are paid, like as soon as I hit my responsibilities, I pay JT, I pay my bills. I'm like, which gold star should I get this month?
Dude, I love that for you. That is so exciting. It's kind of funny because like when I chat with vendors and dealers who are kind of earlier on in their journey, so many of them say the same things that you and I did way back when, which was that we started to get more serious about the buy sell trade piece to fund our personal collection.
Totally.
Some people do it to fund their desire to just rip tons and tons of packs.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of where it started. And just because we've made it our full-time thing doesn't mean that that's still very true. Maybe even more true. What do you think? Because at least for me, like my collection is still like quite a bit more, not only valuable, but like it feels more intricate even than my business. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. It's just different for me. I don't know if it's about more or less. It's just different.
Yeah.
The really early days, I didn't have a lot of focus, like a lot of people when they start. So I was just sort of buying whatever I wanted and like bindering cards.
Yeah.
Eventually, I started to kind of focus it up, and that was part of the reason I started selling cards that I wasn't as excited about as I was the few months before when I was buying those up. Um, Nowadays, for sure, the value is bigger, but I think it's less about that, and it's more about getting things that are exciting because they're rare. It's a slight hedonic treadmill thing.
Yes.
I have to do a bigger thing now. I have to do a rarer thing now to feel the same dopamine that I did when I would buy a $5 card when I first got back into it, but,
Yeah.
I think that's probably the biggest difference, but I think a lot of the attitude toward collecting is very similar, and I still, like, flip through my binder all the time. I'm always reassessing, like, "Do I actually love this?" It's almost like the Marie Kondo spark joy thing.
Yes, of course.
I'm like, "Do I still love this as much as when I bought it?" And, like, it's always fun when the answer is like, "Oh, not only is the answer yes, I love it more now for whatever reason," right? And, there could be all kinds of reasons. It could be the story, it could be the value went up, it could be the value went down, and that there's something funny to that story too. Um, yeah, anyway, that's my long-winded way of saying, I don't know if it's more collector energy for me. I think it's about the same. It's just really different. It's, like, composed very, the mechanics of it are really different.
Yeah. I I totally understand what you mean by, like, it has to be bigger and better and more valuable and all that
Yeah.
kinda stuff,
Yeah.
but, one cure that I have found for that is doing vintage master sets
Wow,
because, man, you'd be surprised how pumped I get at these shows when
totally.
I walk around and I find, like, a $2 Sudowoodo that I need for a master set because I just, haven't found it, haven't encountered it since I started doing the binder or something like that, and, yeah, I mean, a lot of times the vendor will look at me and be like, "Wait, that? You want that?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do. This is what I'm here for, and I'll pay your full sticker price in cash."
Wow, for the $2 Sudowoodo, he's
I
really
know.
splurging.
I know, I know.
Wow, you're not even gonna ask for $1, a 50% of sticker.
Yeah, could we do a buck 85 on this? I have a few extra coins.
Yeah, do it in pennies, please, the whole thing in pennies.
Yeah.
I totally get what you're saying 'cause I obviously am working on the, Legendary Collection Reverses, which is intentionally a slow burn thing, right? I was like,
Yes.
I'm not gonna buy I could just go online and buy a master set and click one button and spend whatever 40 grand or whatever it's gonna be to buy it, and I'd have it, but this is about, like, the onesies and twosies I find in card shops or that people trade in at my table, and same totally, like, I particularly for that collection, I don't whether it's a 30 or $40 card, or like a $1,000 card actually truly is irrelevant.
Um, wow, we could wax I have so much to just
I know,
talk about as
I
far
know.
as
Well, we're
collecting.
gonna talk a lot about this today,
We
actually.
we have
Yeah.
to move on, unfortunately.
This is kind of our topic for the day in some ways, though, the highs and lows of card collecting. We're gonna come back around to it.
Yeah.
So folks, as a reminder, if you're new here, if it's been a while, or if you've never made it to the end live, or if it's a first time live, whatever it might be, just a reminder that at the end, we usually save somewhere between, depending on how long it's going, 15 to 45 minutes on Q&A. So if you've got questions, you can always ask them throughout and we'll star them, or you can save them for probably be somewhere around 8 Pacific, give or take. We can start taking some questions. Um, so we'll do a Q&A at the end. But as usual, we start with some traditional topics. We open the show with the same thing each time, and we're gonna do a PC pickup or an item we have a connection to. I feel like I have to nominate myself to go first because I knew what you were gonna do, and then I saw you type it in here earlier, and you are going to PC mog me horrifically this week, which is fine. I've accepted my place in society.
It's
Um,
fine. We all take turns being the hammer and being the nail. You know how it
it's
goes.
kind of true. Yeah, I've had 1 or 2 weeks in there. Okay, but this is still cool. So on, I'll boost myself
Oh,
here.
nice.
Yeah, so on Monday, I'll have a PSA return video coming in, but this is actually a card I just got back from grading
You
myself.
graded this?
I sure did.
Nice.
And I very nearly sold it near mint, and then I was like, "You know what? This looks really good." And I quite like this card. This is one of those cards, it's a 10th anniversary promo, there's a series of them, there's like
Yeah, yeah.
8 or
There's
so,
Darkrai, I know there's a few more.
Celebi, I wanna say there's a Deoxys, but this Lugia, I think the pose is, like, pretty tough, the background's really cool. It's about $1,000 card. It's nothing super wild, but I'd have to double check. I think I'm into the card, including grading fees, somewhere in the $100 range, like somewhere between
Yes.
85 and 150 bucks. So that is as Lugia being one of my probably top fives. That is my new addition, which I just kind of gotten in the habit, kind of like when I buy a collection, I'll usually pick 1 or 2 cards that I'll keep, and it's kind of similar with a lot of PSA returns, where like I didn't send this in thinking no matter what I'm going to PC it, but when I got the 10, I was like, I like this card and I'm into it so cheap. Like, well, I'll just set it aside. I don't need the $1,000 as much as I'd like to just own this card. So I've actually got it on the slab wall here now. So that's my PC pickup. And then the only other thing, we talked about it last time, so I'm not going to belabor it, but I do now physically have that Torchic I talked about last time. So
Nice.
this is there's that swirl right by his face.
Beautiful.
And repeating ink error there in the middle, kind of interesting. But yeah, so that was those are the 2 big things that came into my collection over the last 2 weeks. How about you?
Beautiful. I mean, those gold stars, especially those starters, man, it's fascinating. They can carry so much value in lower grades. You know, it's like it's a sign of like true rarity and desirability.
Yeah.
When you can get a card that is like 4 figures, no matter what condition you find it in, or 5 figures.
Yeah. This is high 4 figures now, mid to high 4 figures range. The only low listing, I think the last sale was 65-ish, and the only low listing's like 85 for a 6.
Wow, nice.
And I mentioned this last time, and I showed the scans on the screen. It's a really good 6. I think it got a 6 because PSA doesn't acknowledge the repeating ink error as anything other than damage. But like quality wise, when you look at it, it really, like, there are a lot of errors of PSA where it would have passed as an 8, like really a nice copy. But yeah, the rarity is the thing, man. I didn't want to miss the boat on this. When we did the gold star tier list, I was like, oh, that Torchic really is one of the best. And I talked about this last time, having a lot of nostalgia for it. So yeah, but now I have this bug, right? Like every month I'm like, well, how much profit did I make from selling cards? Okay, how much of that can I justify putting into a PSA 7 grail? Like that's at the end of every month, I'm like, I just degenerately I'm already pre-thinking about what I want to do for August.
Yeah. Yeah, I have this habit of just like every now and again, as something comes across the table, I'm just like, yeah, that's not going anywhere. I'm sitting on that. I'm taking that off the table. I don't do enough of like, okay, I've got this kind of extra spending money and go buy something big. I did that for the uncut sheets.
Yeah.
But usually it's like part of a bigger deal or something.
Right.
And I can kind of do some mental gymnastics in order to tell myself that it's, oh yeah, you can just hold on to this. No big deal.
Well,
So
see, that part of collecting is really, from our earlier conversation, that's really different from how it probably used to be for you, right? Where like originally you were just chasing the thing. I think that's the piece of it that like I like to hold on to intentionally, where I'm like, I'm always trying to have something to sort of hunt for or look forward to, or that I'm thinking about, because so much of this is the chase. I mean, just like there's no getting around the psychology of collecting and buying things in general, or getting anything material. It's like, we don't need these things to live. It just makes us feel good to think about them, and then to finally get them, and to think about what's the next thing I can get. So anyway, I'm preaching to the choir, but what was yours, man? PC pickup.
Yeah, so I'll talk about how the deal went down here in a minute, but just the item in general, we have this right here. This, I put it up on my Instagram. Look at that.
I mean,
here's and then here's the Rayquaza side.
So it's a crispy box.
Yeah, this is, I mean, the corners are nice. This is a collector condition box of EX Dragon.
Justin there says, "Oh, just a box."
Just a box?
Yeah. Wow, so lame, dude. Do you even like Pokemon cards?
Literally just like some cardboard and saran wrap. What are we talking about?
That's so awesome, man. I as you know, at Collecticon Phoenix, I was next to our friend Gira Ninja when he took one of these in, and so I watched that deal go down, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. And yeah, not a trivial thing to pick up. So congrats.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Gira Ninja. I actually sent him a few messages about his box as I was preparing to buy this one.
Yeah.
Trying to understand value and authenticity and these kinds of things, because it's, you know, very subjective for these items that are high end but trade very infrequently. And when they do trade, they usually are going to sell to someone who will break the box live and sell the packs for much more than they go for individually. So there is just some opaqueness in the vintage box market, right? Yeah, this is a set that I have loved for a long time. It's It's one that, like the Dragonite EX from this set, is one that has been a part of my personal collection for a long, long time. And it's like the introduction of Dragon type Pokemon into the TCG. And or not necessarily Dragon type, but just, you know, dragons. You've
This
got
one.
this
Yeah.
Nidoking here is I have an a 10 as part of my PC. And then you've also got great other EXs, Kingdra, Latios.
Nidoking. Oh, you meant Dragonite. The Dragonite. You said Nidoking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dragonite.
I was like Nidoking. I love this Ampharos.
Yep.
This is a good example of a card. I went out of my way to buy this on TCG Player like way before I was vending. I like that card a lot.
Yeah.
Latios are awesome.
The Rayquaza,
Yeah.
Secret Rare Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard.
Yeah, this Charizard's cool. I've got this in I want to say an 8 right now in inventory.
Nice.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful set.
Yeah.
It's not the most desirable Gen 3 set because
Right.
the reverses are not the stamped type.
Yep.
But it is an e-reader set. So like it has some uniqueness, beautiful hollows. I own this. I love that.
This Golem is awesome.
Golem.
This Grumpig is very sus.
Yeah, quite sus here on the Grumpig.
Extremely sus Grumpig.
Yeah, great point.
What is he doing? But yeah, no, I love this Golem. This Golem, maybe second only or top 3-ish Golem for me, probably.
Yeah,
We established the crystal's really good. There's a really cool Aya, I forget, the Kusube, I think is the artist, sketched one. Maybe in like Versus or Expedition or something. But yeah, this great Golem. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's a good set, and from a slightly like lost era. Like they were not printing a lot during that time.
Yeah. Yes, and yeah, look at those Gravelers. They're so freaking tough.
These Gravelers are awesome.
Yeah. So good. So I'll give the details about how the deal went down here in a minute when we talk about big deals. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited about the box. I actually remember 2 years ago or so, maybe no more, like 2.5 years ago, I had a chance to. Someone was selling a like original store, like retail poster of EX Dragon in one of the Facebook groups. And I did not buy it. I highly regret not buying that card or that, that graphic. It was like an original poster or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the box art, the set, the fact that it's e-readers, silver borders. It's just a big one for me.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Maybe just for continuity, when it sounds like are you going to talk about the deal where you got that as your
yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, let's just roll into so notable deal since the last stream.
Yeah, so I got a message from someone out of Northern California, and I'll just tell the story. It's a fascinating story. So he has a full-time job, but then also on the side does the kind of buying and flipping of Forsaken storage units. And he has a relative who I think worked at a storage unit, and for whatever reason that storage unit operation, instead of auctioning off items that are in abandoned units, like is kind of common practice,
right,
they were just going to throw it away, throw everything in the storage unit away. And as they're like in the process of dumping items from this storage unit in the trash, the family member of the guy that I bought them from saw that there was some Pokemon stuff and was like, maybe this is valuable. I'll just grab it for myself. And what I bought from this guy was like only part of what he found. What he found in the storage unit was this box and other stuff that I bought, a Jungle Unlimited box, a bunch of really cool theme decks, including this one that I didn't have, Legendary Collection Turmoil sealed theme deck.
Wow.
Which actually, interestingly, this is basically a pack of LC because it comes with a randomized reverse holo in here.
Wow. Any of the reverse holos?
Any of them. Yeah, this is basically a pack, but it's a theme deck, which is
it's sick. A heavy pack. It's like a heavy pack. It's
well, I mean, all the packs have reverses no matter what in LC.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's basically a loose pack.
Yeah, right.
And so, yes, theme decks, some beautiful tin, and a bunch of cool loose packs like Rocket Returns and Hidden Legends and Magma Aqua and Ruby Sapphire and all sorts of good stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's the stuff that we worked out a deal on. As we're doing the deal, and I flew out to San Francisco, met him, we did the deal. As we finished counting the money and the items and everything, he's like, "Okay, so now that we've done the deal, I got to tell you what else was in the storage unit that I'm not currently ready to sell yet. Master set of Legendary Collection,
Okay.
sealed LC box."
Okay.
And then a whole bunch of other cool stuff, dude. Like this person, whoever they were in their storage unit, and I think he told me that the storage unit confirmed hadn't been opened in like 13 years or some crazy number like that.
Wow.
So like this person was either a collector or affiliated with a card shop.
Right.
And back then, like we're probably talking about like $300 worth of stuff.
Right.
That is now worth like $500,000.
Yeah. $250,000. Yeah, that's crazy. How much of the LC box alone is like $250,000, right?
The LC box just auctioned on Golden for 180.
Okay, close to $250,000. Yeah, wow. Wait, sorry. Did this guy? Sorry if I missed it. Did he buy the contents of the storage unit?
No. His relative got them all for free because he's rescuing them from the garbage.
Oh,
got them for free and then said, "Hey, like, let's just sell these together and we'll work out a fair compensation plan between the two of us."
Wow,
guys, this stuff is still out there.
I've heard cautionary tales about how could it have not been open for 13 years? I have a storage unit and I'm like paranoid that the auto pay doesn't go and they just seize all my stuff. How does like the storage unit not try to do something about it in the first 13 years? I know you said like, it's going out of business or something, but like,
no, I think what happened is that it was on auto pay for all these years. It was just kind of, left alone. And then eventually the individual passed away.
Right.
And then after that, the auto pay stopped as, their estate was kind of settled. It was lost in the minutia of the estate that this unit was even existed. And then it was just, the bill lapsed and they're like, okay, let's throw it out.
It's all the more, I actually literally yesterday started booking trust and estate appointments because part of the reason is that if I die, I want Melissa and JT to know where my storage unit is. Dude, that's a crazy story. Crazy. And also weirdly didn't get a call from you when you were in SF.
So I was in town for 90 minutes.
Okay, touchdown. Went from SFO to somewhere Burlingame or San Mateo, and then got back on a flight.
Yeah, it was even closer than that. We met at a bank like within just outside of the airport.
Wow.
So
crazy. Wow. Okay, well, my story is nowhere near that crazy. I don't even want to tell it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's whatever. But guys, my most notable deal, I've been buying collections as a primary way of sourcing lately. So typically I can sell through 30 to 40K of cards a week. And so I have about that much to buy with each week typically. And so I've been buying collections around that size fairly consistently. So I got a collection that included a Koro Mew PSA 9, a Gold Star Trico BGS 8, Pikachu Stamp Promo PSA 10, CD Promo Charizard PSA 10. So some pretty good stuff in there. One thing I'll say though, maybe as a cautionary tale, and this is not a criticism of this guy, it's just a cautionary tale. This guy got a lot of this stuff through playing pull games, which is obvious because like there's Arena Club slips inside of the slab sleeves and stuff like that. And some of the stuff's like really weird that he had. One of the things he had that I couldn't take was this like Pop 7 or 9 Umbreon promo from like maybe XY era or Sword and Shield, like early Sword and Shield or late, somewhere around there. And he got it from like a 5K pack, valued at 5K. But the Umbreon, this Portuguese Umbreon, it was based on a sale that clearly did not pay because the same seller relisted the Umbreon. So I'm not sure why the guy got it shipped to him. Like I assume he probably had the choice not to do that, but I just urge people, if you're going to partake in that stuff, to be responsible with that stuff, lest you have to sell the entire thing at a percentage just to recoup a little bit of money, and you're stuck with some kind of weird stuff. Like, and the funny thing with that Umbreon too is that the cert was like 2 numbers off of the one that this guy had. So I think one person sent in
Right.
15 of this Umbreon and got all 7, and then there was some fake shill bid or something that didn't go through. It was like $7,000 best offer accepted at 55, and then like immediately clearly relisted by the same seller, same cert, same photos and everything. So there's just no, so he's like, can you do it for 2.5K? I was like, I'm not even convinced this is sellable for 1K to a real buyer. And I felt a little bit bad about that, but we still worked out a good deal on a fair deal on all the other stuff. But yeah, just a slight, I ended up getting a lot of good stuff. He got a lot of cash in hand in one easy transaction, but the cautionary tale takeaway for the audience here is like, pull game responsibly if you're going to participate.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely be careful when you're, having things shipped to you versus the buyback and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I would also just add, like, I'm pretty sure these pull games, and not to be the white knight for them, but it seems like they're getting more and more strict with what they're willing to buy, because they've been through these kinds of scenarios where, in this case, the guy decided to receive the card, which obviously probably the best case scenario for the pull game company, because that comp wasn't real. But
Right.
I'm sure they've been getting plenty of complaints from collectors and whatever about, like, hey, like, I won this card. You said it's worth this. It's not even close. That kind of stuff, and they're just kind of sick of going through that.
Actually, I have 2 more stories completely related to that. From this same buy, there's a Rayquaza VMAX in there that when he sent me the collector list originally, it said near mint, but he just hadn't changed any of the. So when I received it, it was crumpled up, like it's damaged. Like you've never seen. It's rare to find actually a modern chase card that looked like it spent 3 weeks in a kid's pocket full time. Like
Right.
it's not totally beat. It's actually a good binder copy for someone who's gonna buy it for like a third of the price of the near mint card. So it's kind of cool in that way. But I was like, where'd you get, like, this card is cooked, right? Like we're not under any sort of pretense that you didn't think this was near mint. I can't pay you anything close to near mint price. And he's like, yeah, I got it from, and he sent me a link. It was a pull game I'd never heard of, some like minor, small time one. He's like, I've been trying to figure something out with them. So like he filed some sort of complaint. And then the second thing is, I forget where I heard this now, but I heard within the last few days that you remember if, like, right around Card Party, those companies were buying singles.
Yeah, yeah.
You
A lot
remember
of
that?
there's some that do. I mean, there's still some that do that.
But most of them, like that bought singles, they got completely overbought. It took them forever to process the singles because it's so much harder to process than slabs. And they had the condition issues, like condition variability on, trying to get a bunch of near mint stuff. And sometimes things come through that aren't near mint. People file a complaint or whatever. Yeah, it's not really white knighting for them. They just don't, it's just not worth their trouble. It's like more effort than it's worth. It's costly for them to deal with it. So a lot of those aren't buying singles anymore. And someone told me that one of the companies that I've heard of a lot around the Bay Area is like maybe never going to buy singles again after that experiment in May or whatever it was.
Yeah, yeah. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah.
I mean, if you have enough business and it's dependable in another area, then you don't want to have to overcomplicate your life.
Totally. But like you said, they're all just buying. It's really specific now. Like, but 6 months ago, it was not indiscriminate. Like any PSA slab 7 or greater, they would just buy it based on CL value. And now it's like 200 to 275, and then like 315 to 350, like really, really specific buckets that they're buying for. So that landscape's definitely changing, which is very interesting. But anyway, yeah. So that was my collection buy story. Not quite as exciting as your flying out for 90 minutes for a cleared out.
Well, I needed something exciting because I hadn't been to a show in almost 3 weeks, and you're kind of the same boat, but even
Yes.
more. So
Yes.
we're both getting back to card shows here this coming weekend, and it feels like we've been gone for years.
It does feel like it's been a long time. I'm really excited to get into a show again. I missed the energy. I know you do. And you're like neurotic about it. You get weird after a week. You're like, what am I gonna do all weekend?
I can't even sleep, dude. I can't even sleep. I'm just like, well, I just like have this strange like thermometer in my body that feels my bills and my business expenses just piling on. But like I haven't done anything to like, earn money
Sure.
to combat them. So
Well, just yeah, sure. That's a different topic for a different day. I would think about it differently than that because it's not a purely a monthly. You can take a month off and you'll be fine. You know that, right?
I do know.
Okay, okay, just making sure.
I
Just
do
making
know.
sure.
I do know. I keep telling myself and telling Fran that like, okay, like we're gonna get to May of 2027 and then we're gonna take all of summer off.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's just kind of my mindset going into that because I'm also, besides the fact that there's expenses, I really really feel strongly that we are about to hit some Pokemon fever here for the next 6 or 8 months.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, if there was ever a time to take a little break right now with the summer slowdown, and I'm repricing a bunch of singles now, and I'm down 10-20% on every modern single except for
Oh yeah.
Crown Zenith. Weirdly, like some Crown Zenith stuff is the gold gods are like up a little, but basically 99% of my like 30 to $1,000 modern singles are I'm down 15%, which is fine. It's fine. But yeah, that definitely felt like an okay time to take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Shall we get into the tall grass?
Let's do it, man.
Maybe we're in a brilliant diamond and pearl for undisclosed reasons that will make sense to the audience in maybe a few months. It's been a while since I played those games. I did play I think I did Brilliant Diamond on the Switch.
Yep.
I know that if I remember right, early on in that game, you get blocked by some cows. Is that game that won't let you progress
It's
down one of the main
Psyducks, I
paths?
believe.
A horde of Psyducks.
Horde of Psyducks, and you have to. I think you don't spray them with a spray bottle. You do something. You give them like headache medicine, I think.
Okay. Maybe hopefully we're not crossing wires there. Someone in the chat can tell us if we got that wrong. So we're running into that horde of Psyducks. It is Psyducks, says Lord of TCG. Okay. Good looking out, chat. And our first piece of tall grass here is Hitmon topics, as it pretty much always has been. And our first Hitmon topic is this RGB Mew saga continues. Last stream, we came up with some fun names like Drunk Mew and Acid Mew.
Yes.
We pretty much all agreed.
Abused Mew.
Yeah, it just it not the best looking card ever. And we've got this now, kind of a red background style of the same art. A lot of the details consistent. Obviously, could still be fake, but what was your reaction when you saw this?
I actually talked about this a little bit this morning or this early afternoon on my Fnatic stream, but
Yeah.
Whether it's real or not, I'm going to say two things. Like the leaks are pretty convincing. Like these cards look very legit.
Yeah.
And like they're telling a story that like seems like it could be something the Pokemon Company would do. And then the second part of this is I want it to be real.
Yeah.
Like I want there to be a legitimately secret rare card, hard to chase in this 30th anniversary set. I think that would be so fun.
I totally agree. Especially with Mew, given the in-game lore and all the original lore around Mew. I had the same reaction of like seeing more of this. It's starting to feel slightly more real. The thing. So Adam's pointing something out. The lack of a 30th stamp, I think, is really strange here because everything else seems to have a 30th stamp on.
So I have my tinfoil hat for that.
Okay.
My tinfoil hat is that in the original games, you couldn't get Mew like in a standard game like experience. There was no gift. You couldn't find it in tall grass, but you could follow like a detailed list of instructions that basically tricked the game into generating a Mew as an encounter rate in tall grass, or not necessarily in tall grass, but like
by a truck.
No,
that thing wasn't real, right?
No. It's real. I've done this in blue version. You have to like talk to someone, and then while you're talking to them, you fly away, and then you like do this interesting encounter rate above Cerulean,
Mm.
where you have to like the last battle has to be against this guy's slowpoke, and then when you fly to another town, you'll like when you land there, you'll automatically encounter a Mew,
Okay.
and it will like have a Mew sprite. You can catch it, you can use it, you can battle with it. It doesn't break your save file.
Mhm.
It's like actually a way that you can get a Mew in Gen 1 games and have a complete 151 Pokédex in that first generation. And my theory here, my tinfoil hat, is
Okay.
that this Mew and the other version of it is like a like legitimate secret rare, and it doesn't have a stamp because it's not supposed to be part of the set. It's like it stands outside of it, so you can get it in the set, but it's not of the set. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That
So I do know what you mean. What kind of product do you suspect it would come in then?
no, I think it comes in the regular packs,
Oh, okay.
but like it's not going to appear on the set list
Right, right, right.
and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
have the stamp.
yeah. Yeah, it not appearing on the set list, I think is that part is like the least hard to believe for me for like having a true secret rare in that sense. What do you think of some of the theories on like how rare these are likely to be? Like the rumors are some one in a kabillion pull rate and
Um, I don't know. What's the rarest card that we have right now? It's got to be the MURs and the BWRs, right? That's like our highest rarity right now.
in terms of pull rate, I think that's right.
I think
Yeah.
that's like one every what can we pull that up? I think it's
Yeah.
like one every 600 packs or something like that. Or is it less?
I actually think it might be more.
Maybe
Okay.
maybe the red Victini is the best one to compare to.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a definitive answer. I'm sure some people pull this data. I know people pull this data about anywhere from 1 in 500 to 1 in 1200. A specific BWR card would be 1 in about 1500.
Okay, I see.
And then
Well, in BWR in each set, there's only two of them, either Reshiram, Victini, or Zekrom and Victini. So we're talking about like one in like 750 packs or so, right?
somewhere in that range. I'm just trying to see if I can find like a real source.
I would be surprised if it's significantly more rare than that. And if it is like, I mean, even if it's like 1 in 1,000, that's still percentage wise the rarest card that they've ever seeded. At least the rarest rarity that they've ever seeded.
Mm-hmm.
Young Ty is asking about VMAX alts. I think it's specific VMAX alts would be 1 in 19, but like just like any secret rare VMAX from like Evo Skies, for example, I think hit rate is like 1 per case, maybe.
One in any VMAX alt art about 1 in 332 packs.
Okay.
0.3%. A specific one is about 1 in 2000, 1 in 1994, according to this source.
Right. So that in and of itself isn't like a Pokemon generated rarity. It just has to do
No.
with how many alt arts are in the set.
Yeah, for sure.
So like, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna guess it's gonna be about as rare as Victini. That's my guess.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We'll see if you're right. That'd be cool if you were. Yeah, these are starting to look real. They the arts I need to see this in person. Same with the kind of chromey looking ones that are confirmed for this set. I feel like I need to see them in person before I can pass judgment.
I saw an account that had pulled one of the Mews, or I think it was Mewtwo, the Chrome,
Yeah.
and then like they had like, you know, a nice camera showing it in different light angles. It was on Instagram. It looked really good. They had also pulled one of the Pikachu SIRs, the Mew, the Mewtwo, and the Salamence. So like, I mean, I think they look great. I also feel like this kind of the explosive texture thing that they're doing in the background of this Mew card reminds me a little bit of like some of the modern Dragon Ball cards.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of those. I remember looking at a bunch of them when we had on Pack Battle. I'm trying to see if I can find that the video that you're talking about. Okay, yeah, looks like I found one. Let's pull it up here. I think this one pulls the Chrome Mewtwo in the video. So let's make sure we can all see it. see if I can zoom in a bit. Is this one of the videos you were thinking of?
No, I haven't seen this one.
Okay.
Okay, that Sneasel. That's kind of sick with the gold border. I love these Pikachus. Oh, see, look at that. Both those Mewtwo's.
Yeah. I like the SIR one quite a bit. Anyway. Okay. So RGB Mew, what does the chat think of this? I saw some people saying it looks bad. Paperclip Mew, rubbish Mew. Old school art is much better. But also people saying if you look at the artist's website, it kind of looks legit. I doubt these are fake. Probably expect one with a green background. Yeah. Yeah. Eagle Scout John. I think it's ugly.
I love it. I'm excited to see it in person if it's real.
Yeah. This card in person is going to slap. Yeah, I want to see them in person. Aren't they supposed to be 3 colors? I think we just haven't seen if it's
Well,
RGB.
I think this is, right? So because you got green lettering. So go to the other one.
Oh, this is a nightmare for me. I'm red-green colorblind.
Are you really?
Yes. So I can't like I can tell red and I know what's red and green, but if there's green text on a red background, I like basically there may as well be no text.
Wow. Yeah. So this is green Mew, blue background, and then some red highlights in the lettering.
Okay, I can't see the red highlights in the lettering at all. Okay, and then yeah, this looks like it may as well just be. I get what you're saying now, though. Now that you've said it. Okay. Well, colorblind, unfriendly, hate it even more now. Should we move on to our next Hitmon topic?
Let's do it.
Oh, actually, wait. A couple more 30th things. A few confirmed arts that we didn't talk about last time. Sugimori, who's still making plenty of art, but like this is a very throwbacky Sugimori art for sure.
It is.
Chubbier Pikachu, kind of in the same vein. It's like an updated version of this, basically.
Yeah. It's like new jungle.
Yeah. So that's cool. Let's see. Oh, and then we did get confirmed. We knew this from the leaks of the pamphlet, but the connecting art of these Meowths. I think there's one more that isn't here, but we definitely know that.
Yeah, there should be an Alolan, I think.
Yeah. No, Galarian.
Okay, sorry, that was Alolan already.
Yeah, this one's Alolan. So we're missing Galarian. But yeah, the Galarian who's down here. So I assume there's going to be some way that they connect because I think you can see all 3 cats in every art.
Oh, cute.
So like you've got the Alolan here, regular, and Galarian, and then same thing here, regular, Alolan, and Galarian down here.
Nice.
It's giving me a little Studio Ghibli vibes.
Yep.
Totoro-ish. Yeah. Anyway, very cool. I think that'll be fun. People will want that. That will be for the vendors a very liquid trio. Connecting arts always are, but this is. I think this one's going to be a home run.
There are so many Meowth cards in the Mega Evo box. I agree, Ditto King. Meowth getting a lot of loves, tons of IRs and SIRs.
Yeah. It is. It must be someone's favorite at the Pokemon Company.
Yeah, it's in Destined. It's in Phantasmal. It's in obviously what's that? Perfect Order.
Yes. Yeah. True. Wow. Interesting. Well, a lot of Meowth love. Shout out the Meowth collectors, Meowth master setters, eating good. Okay, our second Hitmon topic here is a couple of tag team promos that are pumping right now. And this is sort of maybe a hearkening to one of the earlier segments that we had in this show in the past called Gyarados of Reality. We haven't revisited some of those in a while, but a bit of a Gyarados of Reality, in my opinion, on this one. When you look at this Pikachu Zekrom, this Mewtwo Mew were the 2 most notorious and obvious examples. These cards, literally, this Pika Zekrom went from selling for 2,500 like 2 days ago to selling for upwards of 5,000 now. And the Mewtwo Mew is very similar. I think a little less stark, but like less than a week ago was selling below 2K. You could get it under 2K under the right circumstances. We're talking like, I don't even know what's up with this high sale, but we're talking like 3.5 now.
So, I mean, the obvious kind of conclusion you can come to is like, oh, this is pumped, right?
Yeah.
But like, I'm failing to like understand the strategy, because like obviously the strategy would be like, oh well, I have 100 of these and I got my average cost basis into them as $1,200 or a less or whatever, if I just continue to buy them out till they get to 5,000 and then keep the buy rate happening as people bring more to market because they're relatively high pop,
Yeah.
then I can still make a really solid spread on my first, 1,000 copies or whatever if I start to move them. But like, who is going to be the buyer of a bulk amount of these when they have jumped in price so fast? Is it just like the hope that, hey, well, even if I don't get the 5K, like it'll settle at a new floor and then it'll be 2,500 or whatever it is, and then I can move them? I don't know. Like I feel like the alarm bells would go off in the mind of anyone who has the capital to actually be the buyer of a bulk amount of these when they see the new price.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what the volume. I guess in that case, are you suggesting that none of these bids are like legitimate, like most of these are not true end buyers, but they're people that are running the price up?
I would be surprised at the volume of people who had decided that they wanted this card and saw the comps at where they were 2 days ago and were willing to bid up to get one as high as 50 or 100% more than they were 2 days ago for a modern card to this high pop. I
Totally.
don't understand really how, like, legitimate buyers would be interested. Maybe I'm just naive.
Yeah, I mean, you got people like young Ty here, right? Like if this feeling of FOMO is strong enough, there are people who might jump in. It's like Ty saying like, "Hey, I thought I had more time in the middle of summer." You probably do have more time. Like this card will probably, given how fast it's run up, it will probably settle back down.
What's the pop? This pop is nearly
Nearly
10,000.
10,000. Yeah, there's almost 10,000 of these.
I don't know
There's like
how we can.
5,000 of this. Yeah, 5,000 of the Pikazak, 10,000 of this. And this card's been pretty stable in these like mid ones to high ones for forever.
Manic says vault sell on card ladder value when it spikes. I hear that, but like, first of all, I recently got a PSA order back, and the offers that PSA was making to me based on card ladder values that they quoted to me were at like 60%. So like, I don't know if they're going to be willing to buy at numbers that these people who are pumping are going to be willing to take. I don't know.
I don't know either, man. I guess I just wanted to point it out that this is happening. It's happening on a few of these cards. And I've heard from people who are really knowledgeable that they've heard of kind of coordinated pump schemes. Maybe you and I are naive to the mechanics of it, but it's got to work. I mean, you could really argue that we saw this in the Chinese stuff recently.
It's true.
I think, was it CBB3? So let's take a look at these prices, because like the direction that this went was really, really wild, and it was really like short-lived. Okay, sorry, there's a lot of these sell, but we're talking, wow, the volume is so crazy. I think we're getting pretty close now to what they were selling for. So a lot of like 400, 400. It's back at that level right now.
Gosh, there's a
Sub
bazillion of these.
400. There's so many. They sell like literally 20 times a day, which is crazy because like a lot of these are they were like exclusive. They're Chinese exclusive. A lot of these had to be imported if they're going to be sold overseas outside of China.
There's a ton of Chinese product distributors in the US that are just sourcing huge amounts of this.
I had no idea how far back I was going to have to go to pull this off. Okay, well now we're getting into the sixes. So this is like where it started coming down, I feel like. But this card ran up
to like 800, right?
Yeah. I feel like maybe I breezed past. I got to double check when I forget when I bought a handful of these. Maybe it was in June. I think it was in June. These got up really high. I actually think it happened with a lot of the Chinese exclusives. The mouse hold, the Cubone did the same thing. The Cubone went from like 600 to 1300 back down to, I want to say, probably around 8 is where it settled. Okay, so here a lot of like 700 sales here in June, consistent 700 sales. So like I had heard, here's 800s. So that was in mid-June. I had heard people saying that like this is a coordinated, like controlled supply from China. I just don't know. I haven't seen anything like, I haven't seen screenshots of the Discord or whatever. 900 sales here in mid-June. 900, tons of 900s, over 1,000 on one of them. So it's hard to even tell which ones of these are like actual people buying them as they're running up. I bought a few of these as they were running up. So like I was part of it, and I didn't think it was necessarily like a coordinated pump until after. Yeah, so look, it's just like within a week, they shot up, they doubled in price and then came back down like a week later.
Scary. Scary on a card that has so much volume.
Yeah, how many? 20,000? 14,000 PSA 10s and sells like we're saying 10 times a day, 5 times a day. Yeah, I bought 1 or 2. Yeah, I mean like yeah, sticker for 850. Yeah, it's kind of wild. Anyway, we don't need to totally belabor the point. It's really just I think our audience is smart enough, but just be careful. Keep an eye on stuff like this when it's shooting up like this. It's easy to get the feeling of FOMO when you want a card like this, but it's probably not the time to dive in, even if this does settle back down, like you were saying, Jake, to a new higher low.
Yeah.
Maybe instead of 2,200, maybe this card is $2,500 after this, but don't be the one buying them at like 4K.
Yeah. Crazy stuff.
It is. It is. Okay. Let's move on to our last Hitmon topic. This is it's funny. I don't pay very close attention personally to like reprint news and rumors because I don't scalp or buy modern. Like I don't care about what the price of modern sealed product is for my business. I just care about it. Like I want it to be accessible to people so that the hobby's accessible, especially obviously for modern. We do have I think we've seen stuff loading up on retailers like Target for products like Destined Rivals. And I think as you and I were talking about it earlier, rumored around Journey Together. What were some of the other sets?
Some Black Bull White Flare as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So big reprint wave coming here. Headwinds for people that care maybe about the short-term price of these as a holding. I tend to feel like this is what's supposed to happen, and we're in the reprint window, and more supply is a very positive thing. And when we talk about the long-term future of the hobby, you need kids that are ripping Destined Rivals to have the nostalgia for it 15 years from now. So, I think you had some ideas about the timing of this, right?
Yeah, my opinion on this was that I feel like Pokemon Company timed this well with the upcoming 30th anniversary so that people who were inevitably going to get more involved in the hobby because of the 30th set would be able to go back and access some of these other sets that also have, great cards, good nostalgia, and that kind of stuff. So if this is available similar time as the 30th anniversary sets are coming out, then it's kind of serendipitous. People can open more than just that 30th anniversary set. So yeah, and I don't think it's a surprise that like they came back and reprinted more Destined Rivals. They've been needing to do that.
Yeah.
Booster boxes, I think, only really got one wave.
Yeah, and I think I'll save it for I think it's part of my elite forecast, but I'm not even sure how much booster boxes are going to be part of this. Like for a while now, it has not been like huge fifth wave of booster boxes. We tend to get these in the like 2-pack blisters and ETBs and booster bundles. That tends to be how it's been going for like 2 years now.
Yeah, I know that booster box cases did get a reprint. A couple of the LGSs that I follow and their owners and stuff that I follow on Insta and elsewhere, we're putting up new cases for sale that don't have the do not sell sticker on them kind of thing. I don't know if you're familiar with the first print sticker on sealed booster box cases that says do not sell before a certain date.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I know that they have been moving, but I mean, distributors have been selling the booster boxes specifically at a percentage of current secondary market price. And so it's not like it's going to crash and tank and a bunch of people are going to get access to this stuff for original wholesale price. They're going to probably pay $300 or more per box just to get it in their store. And then they're going to want to sell it for 400 or more to the final owner. So
that's what the top comment here says: reprints, but the word is the distributors are selling booster boxes to the stores for 400.
Yeah.
And then Pokemon Mafia Sevs in the chat here saying hearing there are no booster boxes in this reprint. So obviously a lot of this stuff, it's a bit of a game of telephone. Like you hear from someone who has a shop, who posts a thing, who says something to someone else. But, you know, we're piecing enough together to suggest reprints are coming for these sets. Booster boxes might not be a huge part of it.
Yep.
Okay. Well, good. I mean, fun. Again, my stance, I think it will never change. Like I think I had a Destiny Rivals case I traded out of. So I think I have 1 or 2 Destiny Rivals booster boxes and maybe a PCETB or something. So for me personally, like I want these to be cheap. I want people to rip them. I want to rip more of these sets. This set like never touched down. It never really like cratered in a real way. So it'd be fun to be able to open a little bit more of this. It's hard to imagine how much supply would be necessary for it to actually like depress the price to a really significant level.
Yeah. It's funny you say that about like your current holdings of this set, because I'm the same exact boat. Like my purchase volume of modern sealed has like almost perfectly declined with its general accessibility at wholesale or retail prices.
Yeah.
And I've just totally shifted my energy into other things as it's become so competitive to get the newest and hottest thing. So you're right. I don't feel this in my business really at all.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting thing, and it's good for people who have been wanting to get it at a lower price point.
100%. Okay, that's it for Hitmon topics today. I think it's hasn't been other than set release stuff, hasn't been like the craziest news weeks last few weeks. Let's move on to a sponsored segment from our friends at Double Hollow. As folks know, they sponsor both me and Jake. We're also part of the team that kind of gives feedback to help make Double Hollow better. And we've been doing a Double Hollow segment for maybe 10 episodes or something like that at this point, or somewhere around there. And we've been doing a, what do we call it? Payday or false swipe, kind of a this or that segment where we're comparing things in the research tab. We wanted to mix up the sponsored segments this time around. So today we're doing Rocket's Sneak Attack. And
Rocket's Sneak Attack. Why are we calling it Rocket's Sneak Attack? Is our sponsored segment here by Double Hollow, Ricky?
Yeah, well, so Double Hollow has a section called Card Alerts. And there's a bunch of little tabs here that you can click into and take a look at. But the one we're looking at is just sort of the sneakiest little piece of data in the entire platform. And so it's Rocket Sneak Attack because we are going to highlight an arbitrage opportunity that involves cracking a PSA 9 slab to profit by selling it near mint. So some people aren't going to love that as a play, morally speaking, which is why we chose a Rocket affiliation. This is a slightly slick move, but it is a move. We're just pointing out the information that Double Hollow has surfaced, and it is true. We verified this. Umbreon GX from Hidden Fates in a PSA 9 is like $80 less than a raw near mint copy.
Yeah. So one of the interesting kind of data gathering tools on Double Hollow is like, is there a significant value difference?
Yes.
Between the raw copy, what it's selling for, and what a similarly conditioned graded copy is selling for. In this case, Umbreon GX is a modern card. And so, a PSA 9 and a raw copy are typically going to be pretty similar price. In this case, the 9 is quite a bit cheaper, 34% cheaper than a raw copy. And so it's like one of those things where, like, if you're walking around a card show and you see a PSA 9 Umbreon GX and you can pick it up for $220, you're basically buying at 60%. What are you doing?
Yeah. It's really interesting. I don't know about you. I don't do a ton of this. And when I do, I tend to want to put the slip in there. I crack cards often just because a raw near mint copy is typically a lot more liquid and more desirable for regular collectors than like a PSA 7. There's just a lot more people that buy those. So I care about the liquidity. So I usually just put the slip in. So if somebody just wants to grade the card, it's like, hey, you can try it again. Like a lot of 9s, you can resend and get a 10, but this got a 9 previously or whatever. I like to be transparent about that. I don't do a ton of this play, but there's definitely opportunity there, man. Like I've seen the same thing with a lot of the late mid era PSA 7s, like the Silver Dialga is another one of those. It's just cheaper. And if you find a nice PSA 7, that is definitely a near mint raw card. it's a kind of similar thing here. It's often like a 20 to 30% price difference in favor of the raw card. So there are opportunities there if you want to play this game. It is hard to identify those opportunities, which is what makes this arbitrage tool cool if you are a Rockets sneak attack type of person.
Yeah.
So take a peek. Anything else you want to say on that?
No, yeah. I mean, this is just one of many tools that you can access on Double Hollow. The premium tools, you can get a 3-day free trial. We got the link in the description, and thank them for the support of the program.
Yep. Yeah, there's a few other cool things in arbitrage here, by the way, like going from PSA 7 to raw or from raw to PSA 7. It's just another one of those where it's like, hey, if you can buy this near mint and pull off a 7, you might have some upside there. So a lot of good little things that'll make it a little easier for you to surface those, a little advantage that you can get with Double Hollow. So let's move on to our second sponsored segment here from Collector. And we are also changing up the Collector segment. So what we've typically been doing is we've been taking whatever we compared, as we would usually compare two cards or two similar sets within Double Hollow, and then actually sort of like pick the better set. We called it Pikachu's the better set. And I think, at least for a little while going forward, Jake, this was your idea. So maybe I let you explain it, because I thought this was like, I was an immediate yes on this idea.
Yeah, chat, lock in. Instead of what we were doing before with Collector, we want to start a new segment with them where we collectively, as a program and a lot of input from you guys in the chat, we select a $10,000 Pokemon card collection together here live, and we save it as a portfolio in Collector, and we just check in on it every other week to see how it's doing and see if it's gone up, if it's gone down, and what that kind of says about the market of the cards that we've chosen. How does that sound for you guys? Are you guys open to doing that with us?
So chat, that is a strong call to action there. If you're listening live, but you don't have like a phone or a laptop up or something like that, if you got a hand free, pull it up on a device where you can type in the chat, because we are going to basically build a portfolio with you all. And we will obviously have some input. We'll probably do some prompts, because it might be impossible to get everybody asynchronously to agree on all the same cards. What we're going to do is a $10,000 budget. So this is like however you want to think about it, but like $10,000 budget. It can be raw, it can be slabs, but we're probably going to focus on like raw near mint cards and PSA 9 or 10 opportunities for the most part. I think that's where you're going to get like the most high fidelity data in here as well from a price standpoint.
Yeah.
And the most enough price action also, that like let's not try to pick things that sell, like, don't spend the whole 10,000 on one card that only sells once every 6 months, because then it's not going to be a very interesting segment, right? So okay, chat is in, right? Chat Blast Boost is here, says sounds good. Love that. Sapphire Card House is here. Manic says, whoa, yes, do it. We're in. So Omni Collectibles is going to get us started. What do we think of Omni Collectibles' suggestion of the Stellar Crown Bulbasaur PSA 10, only around $350 right now?
I actually really like that.
I do too. I think it's a great.
And I think a quick way to do this is, we'll have chat kind of throw things out, but then you and I can also throw things out and get like confirmation from chat.
Yes. Agreed.
So
agreed.
Yeah, I think one vein to really consider right now, guys, is going to be a lot of these modern cards that have just gotten absolutely destroyed in value from their highs. We can kind of look at these charts and see like where some good opportunities are.
Yeah, I like this as a starting point. I like the price point too. Like, a lot of these like $50 to $800 cards, we're going to be able to fit a lot of them into this $10,000 budget. So what do we think? So Manix is staring at one of these right now. Okay, $350, not bad at all. Okay, let's start there. And if people come back and feel really strongly, we can always make adjustments when we look at the total at the end. That if we overshoot 10K, we might have to remove something or downgrade a grade or something like that. But let's go ahead and add this. Oh, did we tell them the name of the segment?
No.
Chat Cash.
Yeah, this is Chat Cash.
Chat Cash.
Yeah, CACHE.
Yes. Chat Cash. So like multi entendre play on words there, alliteration, chat cash. So we were doing chat cash sponsored by Collector, and we grabbed Bulbasaur Stellar Crown. So let's see. Lugia V Altart. Let's take a look. Are we thinking raw? Raw is probably like 500 something right now.
I think 10s are like 12 or
They're
1300.
a little higher. I think they're about high 13s, low 14s.
Okay.
I'm really up on my stuff. I spent all day pricing today.
Yeah, I've not yet priced all my slabs for this weekend. It's going to be a rude awakening, I'm sure, for all the modern cards.
Yeah, the modern stuff. Yeah, the modern stuff. Yeah, I like this card. What do we think of? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of suggestions, but let's see.
Stained Glass Bird says Pokemafia. I like that.
10 is probably like 400-ish, unless it's moved recently.
Yeah. Lugia V, what was the trend on that before you click out?
Oh yeah, this one's not too bad. Like recently, as far as raw,
It's kind of flat.
the 10 has come down. Let's see. Oh, you can kind of see it. It's just I guess I'm pretty zoomed out here. The 10 was like 1600 not very long. It was 1600 for a while, and they're more like 13, 14 now.
Okay.
You want to hold on this
I
one?
think maybe, right? Because that's
Yeah.
a big chunk of our money here.
Agreed.
And I want to see if we can find some that are really going to move. I like the Stained Glass Birds, but then again, there's so many of them. It is hard for this card to move quickly.
The price hasn't really done anything in a really long time. I do like this card a lot, though. But yeah, it's pretty much been 300 to 400 something for a long time. And
a couple cards that I really feel like have gotten beat up too much are the Zekrom and Reshiram from Black Bolt White Flare.
In a 10.
The BWRs, yeah.
So in raw, I don't think they've gotten beat up because I have a 9 and a raw Reshiram. I stickered up on my 9 Reshiram.
Wow.
Yeah, it came up a little from the last time. So which this kind of corroborates, but let's see. What's the story on the 10? It went from 16 to like 14.
Yeah, maybe the Reshiram right? Took a bigger dive.
Yeah,
I know that at one point the Zekrom was almost 2,000.
Let's see. It's like 1,200 on the Reshiram 10 right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen a few people. Yeah, it is. Some people are saying like it's a bit expensive though. It is going to take a big chunk, these cards.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen a vote. Someone said Burger Chew 10.
Too many Burger Chews.
There's so many Okay, it was the same person voting Burger Chew 10. There's so many Burger Chews. Omni with a Cramorant. This is the IR from Twilight. Mewtube.
Mewtube is already like peaked, hasn't it? It's like, I mean, a 10 is like 10,000.
Yeah, maybe just a raw though. Like a raw near mint. It's pretty expensive still. It'll take up 700.
I'm thinking, what about like some of these other like Sword and Shields that have gotten beat up? I mean, like obviously Lugia. What about some stuff from Chilling Reign? Oh, actually, I know a good one. Look up the Celebi V.
From Jack Sagiri just said this one. There's the Blaziken and the Tyranitar have also taken hits.
Yeah.
So I mean, is the express goal here though that like to try to increase the value? I mean, obviously there's an implied goal there, but
well, I think that'd be fun. I think it would be fun if it increased a bit over time, right? And so we want to pick some winners.
Yeah. JT said, sorry, I'm late. I was eating dinner. So for anyone that's just joining now, we are doing our new collector sponsored segment called Chat Cash, where the chat is in this episode going to build collaboratively a $10,000 collection that we're going to track every episode going forward for maybe the next 6 months or something. We're going to check in on how it's going and see how our picks did. So I like this. What's the 10 like? A few $100?
Yeah.
I kind of like this one. What do we think of What do we think of Celebi V? Yeah, it took a dip, a pretty good dip recently, like 10%.
Yeah.
Really stable for months at 400 something. So what do
Yeah.
we think of this Celebi V PSA 10?
I think we grab it.
It'll put 357. So we're at like, we've used like 650 or 700 $700 so far.
Nice.
Okay. I'm just going back through the chat is definitely has some suggestions. So I just want to make sure we work with them on this.
You were talking about the gold gods from Crown Zenith raw going up. What are the 10s done? Maybe the Giratina needs some love in our list here.
That is probably like $700 to $800 in a 10, I want to say. Yeah. Hasn't really moved much. I mean, it went from about 700 to 660. So down a little bit, but yeah, I was looking at I think it was the Dialga that I repriced, and it was up from the last time I priced it. Yeah, so maybe I priced it. Let's see, what would that? Yeah, would that make sense? I would have priced it right here around June, so it's up a little bit from then. It was like 130, and it's like it's about 140 now on TCG Player. So it was one of the few modern things that I think my sticker was 125. So those are moving around in raw, but maybe not as much in 10s.
Pikachu V Lost Origin in a 10 might be good. Yeah, I like that from
The trainer, that's a trainer gallery.
Yeah.
In a 10. So in the last month went from about 520 to like 475. Definitely taking a little haircut off the top here in raw as well.
Such a great card.
Are we only doing modern? No. There's no rules. It just really we should pick things that sell often enough that this price will move around, so we have something to talk about each program. But
can we add? I know this is a big chunk, but like it's just I really feel like Evolving Skies box is I think it's gone down to like 23, 24.
I think it's been at 24 for a while.
I got as high as 28, I thought.
I guess it touched 28 here for a split second in April. But it's almost like, what does that even mean? Like the volume. Yeah, I mean, look, it's if I forget what that, like, there's like a statistics term like regression or whatever, linear regression. This is a straight line across. The current price is literally exactly what it was this time last year.
Yeah.
What do we think of an Evolving Skies booster box? We'll catch up with the chat. Let's let the chat debate that one. It is a big chunk. It's just I like it. I think I own somewhere between 5 and 10 of these. Catching up on the chat while you all vote on Evolving Skies booster box. Cards that feature Misty. Yeah, dude, this Misty Psyduck got smoked. The 10s were, I had $500 stickers. I didn't even reprice them. I set them aside because they're like $360 now or something like that.
Oof.
Yeah. Smoked. We have 2 of these in a 10 in our inventory right now. So let's see if I can corroborate that. So yeah, we priced them. Last time we priced them would have been right around here, end of June, when they were like 500. And they are right now, yeah, it says 390. I mean, they're just still actively moving. There's like listings that are below this. I think I would have to sticker at 360 or 70 or something right now. So this is a pretty good one. I mean, this one took more than a 20. That's a huge haircut from 500.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Buy it while it's low.
Let's do this one. Boom. So that was a JT suggestion with Jack saying, yeah. Someone said hard agree with Aerodactyl V. Aerodactyl V, this is probably the Lost Origin alt art.
Yeah.
What do you think of that one?
I love that card so much.
Caps lock.
I'm a huge Aerodactyl fan.
Yeah, this is a great. I like the cameos. This one is a very distinctive. There's not a lot of Pokemon cards that feel like this.
Yeah.
The prehistoric. It's so convincingly prehistoric.
Yep.
Yeah.
Trophy is hanging out.
Underrated Grassmon. Tropius. So this card in a 10 has been very stable, really. For the last month, no real movement. Like, it's been a 550-ish card for a while.
Well, you want to know what we should do, man? That Pikachu from Ascended.
In a 10 or raw?
In a 10. Let's see what it's at.
Almost everything in Ascended. The Dragonite could be an interesting choice too. Look at that little Pikachu there.
Oh, cute.
You caught Pikachu.
What?
Collectors got little they call that moments of delight in the software world.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. What is this, like 24? Yeah.
Dude, that's like 50% of its high.
Yeah, brutal.
This card is so good. What is raw going for?
1,000. 1,100.
Okay, so the raw got as high as like 14.
Yeah, it did.
So the raws come down like 25%.
Yeah.
And the 10 has come down 50%.
Yeah, 45% or something.
So I think the 10 is play.
Okay, let's see what people think. I'm gonna catch up on the chat here. I want to see, did people give us votes on the Evolving Skies box? I feel like
Omni really wants us to put in the tag team babies.
raw or 10. The 10 I think is one of those ones that's getting pumped right now. I mean, this Pika over the Dragonite. I know it didn't dip as much. I think the Dragonite went from 24 to 14 in a 10.
I think this is officially the main chase of the whole set, right?
The Mega Gengar raw is still worth more.
But in a 10, I think this one's the biggest one.
Sure. If you're vendor brained and you can only think about cards in PSA 10 terms, then yes. If you could open a pack and pull a PSA 10, then yeah, I agree. This one is the main chase in terms of money dollars.
You're right. You and I should compare modern inventories right now and see who's got more modern singles that they've taken a bath on, you or me.
Listen, the winner of that is the loser, and and it's you. So congratulations.
Yes, biggest loser, Darshop.
Yes. Okay. I'm checking the chat. TCG gains. I'd rather have the VMAX evolutions from Evo over the Pika. The non-Moonbreon are all undervalued. Yeah, we had some votes for first partner.
I don't know. The first partners for me, I feel like still like they have a ways to go down.
I actually agree. I think I think first partner materially contributed to the PSA value tier shutting down.
Yeah.
And there's 1.5, there's just 1.5 million first partner cards sitting in a storage locker or whatever, a warehouse room somewhere at PSA.
I agree.
Maybe not 1.5
How many
million,
of those are getting pulled on pull games as we speak?
An uncountable amount. And specifically 9s. You're pulling the 9s from the pull games. For you buy a $25 pack or whatever, $50 pack. Individual cards sound more fun. This is okay. We're getting to the response to the Evolving Skies. So I don't think people are feeling, the chat wasn't feeling the Evolving Skies booster box. And it is chat cash, not Jake cash.
True. I feel like the Pika in a 10 is a play, but you guys let me know what you think.
Has the chat responded on the Pika in a 10? I know someone said, like, I agree with all I'd seen. Yeah, Elder Unlimited. What's up, Elder? Agreed with most Ascended 10s. Chinese Cubone.
That one's gotten smoked lately.
It did. That could be an interesting pick. It's probably under $800 in a 10 right now. What do I need to search to get this to show up? Okay, it's just going to be the first thing. Yeah, so the raw ran up to 300 like overnight from 130 and is now 220. So there's kind of that example of like pumping and then setting a new floor.
Yeah, true.
The 10 is, let's just do this. So we just look at the 10. It's a little cleaner. Yeah, so this ran from 500 to 1300 and is stable now at 7. Kind of like this. So base set Zard, another suggestion, Super Junk. Base set Zard recently has run up.
Yeah.
Was kind of surprised to see it, but I own a few and pretty material movement upward. So for if part of the goal here is to come out on top value wise every time we check in on this.
I'm
Oh,
cool with doing one of these. This is like a classic Chinese, exclusive representation card. We want one of those. I think we do this.
okay.
I think we've gotten enough confirms about the Pika from Ascended. I think we throw that in there.
What did people say here? Say it. Agree with Pika. Let's do it. Okay.
Plus, we need a couple of cards that take big chunks out. We got $10,000 to work with.
Pika. Yeah, true. Some people are saying ADP.
ADP you got as high as 5K. I think it's in like the mid fours right now.
Mm-hmm. So let's take a quick look real quick. Well, that's redundant. Okay. We are at $4,128 with these 5 slabs so far.
Nice.
Do we want some raw cards in here? We're such an elitist, Jake.
It's not about being elitist. It's about we're trying to get a fairly optimized portfolio of 10K that we think has a good chance in the future. And 10s, they their opportunity for upswings is bigger than raw cards. Percentage wise, at least.
We're getting some votes. I hear you. I'm with you. I was just teasing. Raw Zard from Manic Marauder, base set Zard near mint from Elder. I mean, it is a classic. It's probably going to run us like 800-ish now. Maybe a little more. Raw near mint. Let's see what. Yeah, 825.
Gosh, that's crazy. I mean, that I remember selling raw near mints for 400 all day long.
Totally. Yeah, I mean look how long. Right here, 450 for a long time here.
That's what I'm saying. We're gonna put one of these in our portfolio at its all-time high.
I said the same thing. I was surprised because again, this is another one where as I'm restickering a week ago or something on some of my vintage before the story sale, I had the sticker on a near mint minus LP plus, like a LP plus-ish copy that I had probably somewhere around 500 even. And I think I restickered it to like 750 or something. This is really got some, I mean, it is at its all-time high. I'm a little apprehensive on this, so I understand why people want to. I like the idea of let's do some some vintage. Neo Premium File Zard. That's kind of interesting. That's not at its all-time high right now in a 10.
That's true. When did it get up as high as 4K? Now it's in the 2s.
Got into the 3s pretty comfortably. Let's see what I have to search here. There we go. Collector search working pretty good on us. Yeah, so for PSA 10, it did get up to, it got up to about 3. I think there were some sales above that, but I would buy that the average was 3 over this few months ago. Right now, I think they're in the low 2s. Yeah, 23.
Ooh, Bubble Mew might be a good move, Lemon Drop Joe.
Japanese specifically?
Either or.
The Bubble Mew just came down, right? From 38 to 31.
Yeah. I mean, buying essentially the most iconic card from the generation at 20% discount. This Zard, I feel has found its new average. A lot of the Japanese exclusives pumped and then kind of leveled.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it has huge upswings.
Even a lot of vintage Japanese, the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This, a lot of the versus cards, all that kind of stuff, as people discovered it, pumped pretty heavy.
Yep. Yep, agreed.
Steve, we're mostly doing slabs and raw. It seems like people don't want to do as much sealed here, which I think makes sense.
Unless someone has a good suggestion for sealed that we can all get on board with. How do we feel about the Bubble Mew choice? Let's see what this is called Shiny Treasure.
Yeah, Shiny Treasures.
So Japanese 10 was at the end of last year 450, got up to 1100, currently 9.
9, yeah. Maybe English has taken a bigger bath. Maybe the English is a better move.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge bath. I mean, it's like it's always funny when you zoom out on these charts. It's like, oh no, it's back to the price of 2 months ago. But that is where we're at, like compared to its all-time high. If we buy, if we believe that this was a legitimate valuation for this card at 38, why wouldn't it go back to 38 when excitement comes back to these cards? Bubble Mew, PSA 10, no brainer. Took a big haircut. Only other thing is, this is going to be $3,000 of our total.
It is. What is the market price of a 10 right now?
31, probably. Yeah.
Oh, I feel like that's pretty solid.
Okay, let's add it for now. Like I said, we can always come back and pull it out at the end. But yeah, 72 right now total. So we've got about $3,000, just under $3,000 left to do. Oh, look, a little Mew. I'm gonna click on it. Boom. I caught Mew.
Whoa.
Omni says maybe not worth it. We can vote on it again at the end. Let's see. I'm going back through the chat now. Umbreon Fates Collide. I think Pokemafia thinks the base Zard cracks 1,000.
I've got one. I think maybe what about a raw Gyarados secret rare from Breakpoint?
Is that like 4K? Oh,
10,
sorry,
yeah.
raw.
Yeah, the 10 is like 35, 38, I think.
Okay.
What's
Near
the raw
mint's like
thing?
200. Raw near mint is 200, and the peak was like 240 at the end of last year.
Yeah, I feel like if we get a Mega Gyarados set, like this guy has a chance. Like, let's say the 10 gets to 5K. What's to stop their single to get to 500 at least?
I like it. What does the chat think? I do think I want some raw cards in this, honestly, and I do want to mix up the eras. We got a lot of PSA 10 modern right now. Yes, do it. 200 too cheap. Yeah, I agree, Super Junk. We need a few older things. I'm with you. Okay. Let's send it for now, and again, we can vote at the end. But that's a pretty small dent. What do we think? Like vintage? We have no vintage in here yet. What about like a Silver Border EX? Like
So many of those are at all-time highs.
I know, but there's like the Ninetales EX PSA 9 hasn't moved recently. I think.
Okay.
Correct? The Suicune recently comped a few higher 9s.
Oh, actually, okay. So the Dragonite that I was just talking about from EX Dragon, the 10 just did 21,000, which is an all-time high.
Yeah.
So maybe the 9 is a play.
Let's see what the 9 is. About 2,400. A tenth of the 10 price.
Click into the recent sales of the 9 really quick. Does it allow you to do that?
If it does, I've never actually used Collector that way. If it has it, I'm not sure it does.
I know it does on the app.
Yeah, I'm not sure it does on desktop. I'm not seeing where it is. Maybe I'm missing it. I can pull it up though.
Yeah, I think this 9 is too cheap.
$25 sold yesterday.
What's the market price on Collector?
24 probably the average. 20, yeah, about 24.
I think we get it.
So I hasn't even caught up to that. I mean, it's probably right about at the average. It's starting to get dragged up by that. But what do y'all think? PSA 9, Dragonite EX. I like this pick. It was 1850 in June.
Yeah, I think this card could get to 3K in a hurry.
I think so too. It only takes like one comp. What are the listings? Right? Like, well, there is a 2,500 listing. So that's going to cap. There's a 2,566. Okay, it's like pretty legit seller. So it'll comp at 25. That's the one that just sold. So there's one more 25, and then the next comp without an auction might be 3. Give me the best offer 3 or something.
I like this play, but again, I have a love for Dragonite. Omni Collect says Metagross from Hidden Legends PSA 10. The EX.
Check out listings compared to market price. Market price is 1,300. Listings 14K.
I feel like I had this card and sold it for more than 2K not too long ago. Oh, is the holo or is there an EX?
The reverse. I think this one probably is what he means. The 995.
Okay, what is Collector saying the market value is?
Let's see, last sale was yesterday, 37. The low list, it's probably this sale. Yeah, low list might be 6. I'm not sure. Maybe we're not looking at the. Oh no, he said holo, not this one. We're looking at the wrong
holo.
card.
Well, there's no way that the holo's gonna be worth more than the EX.
This one. It is pop 55.
It just sold for 13.
Just sold for 13. Yeah, but he's saying the low list is 14. Yeah, that's not. There's an auction with 4 days left. There's 2 auctions up. These auctions are going to go for 12 to 15.
Yeah.
Someone said Neolugia. I love Neolugias.
Yeah, check it out.
What do we think? Like 9? Japanese? Like what do we like? What raw?
I think they said PSA 9. Someone did.
Okay, it says 2. Okay. Okay, let me just pull this up and I'm gonna go back to collector here. So 9 is around. Wait, is that right? Oh, is this first ed? Oh, yeah, this is first ed. Unlim. Doesn't really have great data for this. Unlim 9 is going to be 26 in here. What do you think of the direction of this card, though? It doesn't sell. It almost never sells in a 10. When was the last 10 sale?
Yeah, it's like super. The unlimited is super low pop in a 10 of this card.
Must be. It did dip recently. I kind of like this. This is kind of similar to the Dragonite play.
Okay. Yeah, I'm open to it.
This one's 32 back not long ago, and it's had a few sales at 26 now.
What's the average they're giving us?
26.
Okay. I feel like the Dragonite might have more upside, but this is a similar play.
What do we think, chat? Lugia, Neo 9, or the Dragonite EX9? Sapphire Card House liked the Dragonite. Seems like a good choice for the new 10, high 10. Lugia over Dragonite, says Lemon Drop Joe. Maybe there's a second phase of this, Jake, where you and I try to beat the chat. Maybe we make our own separate one.
Wow. That'd be fun.
Make it a challenge.
I'm just going to go crazy and just do all 10,000 on one card that I really believe in.
That would be the most Jake way to go from 10 to 18K. Is just like a card that will only sell one time in the next 6 months for twice as much as the last sale.
I legit just buy a comp so that like I win this challenge. That's the only reason that I do it. Like just overpay for a card so I could win.
A lot of people are saying Dragonite over Lugia. So, and then there was a vote for like a bunch of small cards. I kind of like filling the gaps with a bunch of small cards. Let's go back to that Dragonite. Let's see where I've got this right here. Dragonite in a 9. I kind of like. Actually, I like it so much I'm tempted to buy one. Like for real.
See?
Like, hey, look, little Dragonite here. Yeah. I might have to look at those listings. I'm gonna buy one while we're on the stream here. Okay, so let's just take a look real quick.
I like it so much. I'm thinking about buying one.
What?
I just love that take.
We're right under 10 here. So here's what we've got.
I just had the intrusive thought to rip my dragon box. I should not do that.
Oh, you should definitely do that. Obvious. Okay, I mean, I'm just gonna kill the screen share and you rip the dragon box. Let's go.
Oh, that would be so bad.
Okay. Yeah, that yeah, that would be something. You got Vegas coming up this weekend. You're better off spending 50 grand on a baccarat or whatever.
Actually, yes.
Okay. Do we want to do so? Omni saying more Pekko PSA 10. I'm assuming maybe a recent IR or SIR.
Omni keeps saying things that they own, so I don't know if we should trust Omni. Omni keeps saying things that are on their active eBay store.
That's hilarious. That's so funny, man. I respect that level of pumping. Okay, so everyone says you should break the box. I'm just putting that out there.
Sorry, guys.
Omni says I don't own Morpeko. You've made a false accusation.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, we have a few $100 left. What if we do a bunch of small little raw cards? We've got 8 great slabs here. Got a few different eras. We're really underrepresented in mid-era. No Japanese. Legendary Beasts from Crown Zenith, all 3. I think those cards have been around the same general price for a long time. They've been 35 to 65 bucks for.
What's our remaining balance?
About 220 something bucks. 223.
223.
So for folks that are just joining us now, we're in the collector sponsored segment. We are doing chat cash. We are trying to build a $10,000 portfolio that we're going to check on regularly. Leafeon level X raw. Let's see what that looks like.
Those level X's, yeah, are pretty good for Majestic Dawn. Not cheap though.
Yeah, this is probably one of those in near mint where like it sells one time and it runs up or down the price.
What about something from like Chilling Rain? You know, what about like Moltres V or something like that? How expensive is that?
I kind of like JT. So the Sleepy Pikachu and the Sleepy Mew from that era, those trainer galleries, both came down recently. They're about 65 bucks each.
Yeah, but they did peak, and their 10s were like 800 or whatever.
They did. Galarian Moltres currently 245. It's been like kind of stable as a raw card. Did someone say Moltres V at the same? Oh no, they're just probably catching up. 244. This would, I think, overshoot our budget very slightly. Do we want to have any leeway if we chose this?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I think
for a few bucks,
ending within 25 or 50 bucks is fair.
Okay, let's make sure the chat is on board with whatever we pick here, because this is chat cash. Hall of Legends Ho-Oh. Sleepy T-Tar, yeah. I don't know what the upside is, Tiny Flame, on the raw Sleepy T-Tar. I actually think this one's got lower listings than this. This card has room to go down short term. Glassbird's raw. Breakpoint Ho. I do like that. Breakpoint Ho. Actually.
Breakpoint Ho is only like $40.
This one. Yeah, it's 40 bucks. Dude, this is a sick $40 card.
It's cheap.
You just, I mean,
It's been cheap forever.
It has been cheap forever. Yeah, probably not much. Condom Ultras is better.
I'm down for another Chinese exclusive. Like one of the evolutions, maybe that Umbreon.
Oh, the Sleepy Umbreon?
Yeah, what's that go for raw? Like 250, right?
209 right now.
See?
It was 250 a few months ago. That's a pretty big bath, dude. That's like
40%,
80% of its high 2 months ago. Okay. Call of Legends. People are saying Call of Legends. Yeah.
These just don't trade enough in like
I
clean
know.
condition for there to be a lot of data.
Which one? This? Yeah. Yeah, this is one that's going to move around the second there's a sale in any direction.
Omni says that's actually a good call out, Omni. That Pikachu Yokohama deck.
Yeah, I saw that voted a few times. That's the one with the Maridon?
Yeah, it's a 23rd anniversary, I think. Or sorry, 2023, not 23rd anniversary.
Oh wait, no. Oh, this one?
No, I was
No,
thinking
the world's one.
Yeah, sorry, I was thinking the world's one. Isn't that also Yokohama? Am I missing? Am I wrong?
No. Oh yeah, you're right. Yes. You and I were thinking of this card.
Yes.
It's $400 raw. That would overshoot.
Yeah.
Oh, the Japanese Hoopa promo is kind of cool. What is this going to be raw near mint? 200? Yeah, one. Oh, look. Wow. This one like got pumped back in May.
Yeah, I took a small bath on this card in a 10.
Did you? I think we have one at PSA right now that looked pretty good. This is an interesting card. Like the 6s are upside versus raw moderately played. So there's a kind of opportunity in grading these more than I realized when I bought a few of them in Japan. Lugia and Umbi cameos. In which card? Fates Collide. Oh, Fates Collide Alakazam.
Great card.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
that go for raw?
I want to say 150 unless it's run up with the 10 I think has recently been moving. Yeah, 107. Yeah, so yes, my price memory was a month old, but correct. So it's at a high right now, 176.
I say we grab it and throw it in.
Yeah, raw.
Yeah, it's a great card.
It is. Cheap. It is. Okay, I think there's a few different votes for this. Agreed with JT. It seems like some pretty good consensus on this one. So we've got just a tiny bit left. Let's throw a $40 card in there.
Breakpoint Ho-Oh. Perfect.
Yes. That's so sick. Let's go. Okay. Okay, y'all. 9998. So sick. Okay, what do we think? We've got Mew, Bumble Mew, PSA 10. EX Dragon, Dragonite, PSA 9. Pikachu from Ascended, PSA 10. Cubone Chinese, PSA 10. Misty Psyduck, Destin Rivals, PSA 10. Celebi V, Alt Art, Fusion Strike, PSA 10. Bulbasaur Stellar Crown, PSA 10. Breakpoint Gyarados Raw, the Secret Rare. The Alakazam Fates Collide Secret Rare Raw. And the Ho-Oh EX from Breakpoint Raw.
Yeah, I like these picks. I like how many red arrows there are.
Yeah, stuff that's got room to come back.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, so some bets that are based on bad price direction recently, some bets that are based on room to go toward their all-time highs. Some bets that are like these raw cards, like the Gyarados and the Alakazam, kind of attached to betting on the direction of the 10s. I kind of like these picks. What do we think, chat? This is chat cash. You all have ultimate power here. Omni votes Pikachu out. Add cards that have higher chances of going up instead of dumping 2.3k into one card and taking a bigger dive. I would be surprised for this card to go way lower. I think it has more upside than downside percentage-wise.
Yeah, I was about to say, JT, if someone walked up to me with this collection, I'd be like, dang, I want to buy all this.
Hookah Hookah says take Pikachu out. Okay, chat. Dude, what do we think? What do you think, chat? Not enough vintage? What do we think? Do we take Pikachu out? We got to vote on, do we keep or take out Pikachu? Overall looks pretty good. Everyone agrees it's looking pretty good. Orion Wallace, thoughts on finding room for the Vaporeon, Flareon, and Jolteon V box promos? I agree. Take Pika out. Take Pika out. Swap Pikachu out. Okay. Pikachu's not surviving the vote, man.
All right. I'm putting it in my portfolio then.
You and I, okay. After we should, okay. So maybe next time you and I bring our portfolio and we work on one.
I'm just going to put 5 Pikachus in mine. And smoke all you guys.
You're just stupid cheese strategy. Okay, it's 4. I probably would be 4 Pikachus. Okay, Pika out. Okay, everyone's voting Pika out. So Pika's out, and we got about that value, right? Jake, you're in a restroom or what? What's going on? I'm going with yes. He removed himself. Okay, I'm gonna guess Jake's gonna come back. Okay, let's keep working with this. What do we want instead of Pikachu? Someone said, yeah, Radiant Collection is kind of a good call. Let's take a look at some of these. I think there's 2, right? There's 2. There's like the full art one. Yeah, I'm assuming you probably mean this full art one. Metamong Ditto. Is it Korean Ditto? It's called Metamong? Why have I not heard of Metamong? I'm not sure. Are you talking about this Ditto? This Korean one? Oh, this. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of cool. We don't have any, we have, I think, no Japanese or Korean in here right now. Metamong is a park in Korea. Okay. Cool. Yes. Like, what do you think of this Korean Ditto?
There's too many of them.
We were looking at RC, Flareon RC. I also like the Sylveon RC.
What's it at?
For 10 on Flareon is 8. 9 is 600. Raw is 250 for Flareon.
It's a great card, but guys, like, look at that chart.
I know. You
have to bet that it's going to continue to break its all-time highs.
Look at this. We don't have any tag teams.
It's true.
Should we look
but they've all already pumped.
I know, but I know people were voting for ADP earlier. Raw like 550. Steady climb up and to the right for that raw card. Man, the pump on the 10. Went from 2.5 in May up to 5.4. This is so... That one's scary. Greninja Gold Star, PSA 10 gem rate is terrible. You know what took a bath recently as a terrible PSA 10 gem rate is the Seismitoad.
Yes, that took a huge bath. It came down like 25-30%.
Yes. So the 10 was like $3,000 for a hot second. And it's like 23 now, I want to say. Yeah. What do you think of this instead of Pikachu, y'all? This is 16% gem rate. I'm going out. That was Tiny Flame inspired me there. I don't know if people are voting on this one at all, but I kind of like this card at 23. It's the same exact value as the Pikachu. It'd be a hot swap, like 1-for-1 pretty much. It's Glide Fuller. I like that card too. I don't think it's... I'm not sure about a lot of movement. And we have a Fates Collide already in there. JT says Toad. Yeah, JT. JT got paid in a Seismitoad for a show a little bit ago.
Got a pretty good deal on that one.
Conda.
I mean, I like this card, but like we're talking about the same exact fundamentals. Not exact, because it's harder to grade than the Pikachu, but the Pikachu is a Pikachu. I'm like mad at the chat that we pulled that out. Legit. I think that's a great play.
It's chat cash, man. They're voting on the Toad over the Pikachu. Jack says, I prefer Pikachu over this. Yeah. Everyone voted. You saw me. You saw the chat, man.
I know. I got voted off the island. I'm just bitter about it.
We can make our own portfolios. I didn't foresee that we were gonna have so many feelings about it.
Yeah, true.
The chat. Toad man. Mewtwo PSA 9. What do we think, chat? Are we going Toad? We got to move on to the main topic soon here. So,
Mewtwo V-Star says,
ooh, that's probably not very.
It's like pop 20,000. It's got to be.
Yeah. It's probably only like what, mid hundreds, 600.
We have nothing old. 600. We have some things that are old, Manic.
We have the Dragonite is old. These are oldish. Our raw cards. Vending Series Haunter 10s. Niche. Zany Zuko. So if you're coming in late, we are in the collector sponsored segment called Chat Cash. We are building a $10,000 portfolio, we being primarily the chat with kind of our input. And then we're going to check in on this every 2 weeks in the program to see how we are doing, how we feel about these picks, how each card is doing from a value standpoint. You're getting accused of pumping a fat Pikachu bags there, Jake.
I literally don't own a single one.
I don't either.
But I kind of want to at this price. I feel like I could buy one for under 2K maybe. I would just, that's such a good deal. For the main chase of one of the best sets like almost ever artwork wise.
Yeah, so it is. Eevee Munch.
Eevee Munch is like 4K, right?
Yeah, be too high. $5.6 and a 10. Rumble, Rowlet, 600 raw.
Hello, Aria. Hope you're having a great night. Good to meet you in New Jersey.
What's up, Aria? Primes. I know I saw some votes for primes.
No prismatic on the list. What's the Sylveon done lately? The Umbreon's too expensive.
The Japanese ones came down quite a bit. I don't know about the English ones. I haven't owned one of these in a little bit. Pretty stable since April. 1,500, 1,600. In a 10, about 520 raw.
15 or 1,600. I think it could get to 2K. But it's probably not till after Prismatic goes out of print.
Mm-hmm. When is Prismatic due to go out of print? Early next year?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's part of the block that ends in January.
Yeah. Okay.
Gosh, that seems fast.
It does. Time flies. Coromew 8. I don't hate that.
The 10's already pumped. So that all the comps have already caught up on 8s and 9s. There's so many of them.
When did the 10 sell?
The 10 has all the all-time highs in like 40, 45K.
Yeah.
9s are like 5 to 6.
There's 6 now. Chinese Umbreon PSA 10. I'm going back. We want to go back to that. Crystal Kingdra and a 9, I think. Was that our lowest rated crystal in the tier list the other
Yeah,
day?
let's just fill the rest of the money with Shining Noctowls in moderate play.
Who's buying 8s? People who are priced out of 9s and 10s, man.
People who want good value for clean cards.
Yeah. They do sell. Depends on what it is, obviously. All
right, we got to choose. We got to choose,
y'all. What do we think? We got so many different votes going on.
You know my vote.
We already did the Chinese Cubone. It's already in there. Maybe you're just agreeing rather than, just saying like the Chinese stuff is good. Chat, we need to agree on something here. We got to call it. We could go back to Toad. Do we want Toad or Trikachu? Let's just leave it at that. PSA 10 Seismitoad or Trikachu for our $2,300. Both have come down recently. Calling an audible for the sake of time. We're picking one of these two. We got one vote for Trikachu and one vote for Toad. Put Pika back. Pika. So Pika's in the lead. Trikachu back in.
Everybody's seeing how hurt my feelings are.
Maybe that's what it is, man. Wow.
Shining Mew.
Okay. All right. We're going right back. It was a fun adventure we went on. Pika's going back in. And we are locking in chat cash $10,000 on August 12th.
Chat cash. Okay, guys, so we're going to check this every week, see how we do.
Let me make sure that Trikachu made it. Yeah, there we go. There's our 10K. So we'll see you in 2 weeks on Chat Cash again, and we'll see in Collector. Thanks to Collector for sponsoring. They got a nice long segment today.
They did.
We don't invoice by the minute, Collector guys. Okay, let's move on to our main topic. Jake, what do you think?
The main topic, guys. Let's get into it. And this is also going to require a lot of chat interaction.
Yes.
Because for lack of a better term, there's going to be a lot of story time here.
Yes.
When we were talking about the topic for today, it circled around the idea of how collecting cards, as a true collector and buying things just because you really like them, or trading into things because you really like them, tends to really pay off from a value standpoint, just kind of as a consequence of buying things that you're interested in and that other people are probably interested in. And then, we also just have so many stories of over the last few years being more heavily involved in the hobby, things that we've bought, sold, traded, graded, pulled from packs. There's been highlights. There's been lowlights. We have stories of things gone so well, stories of things gone so wrong. And we wanted to share some of those, and also ask for you guys to share some of your big wins, big pulls, things that are kind of marquee events for you in the hobby that have fueled you, inspired you to stay in and to stay involved. And then the things that have gone totally wrong that you've learned important lessons from. So that's kind of the main topic of today. Anything you want to add there, Ricky?
Yeah. I want to add, not so that we're not burying the lead. One of the main reasons we want the chat to participate in this, and that you and I or Jake are going to kind of go back and forth on some stories of highs and lows that we've had in our collecting journeys, is that there's always value in relating and connecting with other folks in the space. And the more we talk about I missed out on this thing, I could have bought this thing, and I FOMO'd in it this time, or I did buy this thing, or I sold this thing too soon. Everyone's got these stories of these things that they bought for $5 that are now 500,000, and these stories of things that they bought for 50,000 when they went up to 100,000, or they graded something and they sold it for 4K and now it's 100K.
Why do we keep saying 100K? That's so specific, Ricky.
I don't know. I just was thinking, just a random, some things sell for around 10K and then go up to who's to say even like 108K as a hypothetical example?
Yeah, you know, like so, like a nice round 108,000.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just $108,000 for something that one of us may have had and sold for $10,000. We all have stories like this, and they're all at different scales. But so share your examples as well. But we're gonna share ours. The highlights and lowlights of collecting Pokemon cards. Maybe Jake, do you want to kick us off with maybe a high in your collecting journey?
Yeah, I think for some of you guys who have like followed our content for a long time, you'll have heard some of these stories here and there, whether it was, I told it during a stream or during a podcast or something. But a high for me was I want to kind of share a couple that really have to do with opening packs that kind of helped light a fire for the fun and the chance of this hobby for me. Because when I was a kid, um, I was able to own some like vintage WotC cards as a young kid, but they were all just like common and uncommon duplicates that I got from neighbor friends. I never actually opened any vintage packs during the WotC era when I was a kid. I did get to open either 2 or 3 packs during the Gen 3, Gen 4. Well, technically it was already Gen 4, but there were some Gen 3 packs in Gen 4 products back then. And I think I opened a total of like 3 booster packs my entire childhood. And it was like, I want to say there was Holland Phantoms, Crystal Guardians. I opened up one of those blister packs that had the Pop Series Hollow Jolteon and Flareon and Vaporeon in them. Really love those cards. So like when I got older and I discovered that like Pokemon was still a thing and got to open some of the more modern stuff. I was really excited about it, because it was kind of like living a childhood that I wanted to have, that I didn't get to have. So some like of my fondest memories of opening packs. My first ever like full degen rip session, I think was the second time that I bought packs. I had opened up a couple of ETBs that I found at Target, and then like the next week I just had the bug really bad. So I went on eBay and I bought an XY Evolutions booster box for like $100, and I bought a Sun and Moon base booster box for like $110, and I had those, and then I also just by chance was at Costco and they had dropped some of those like 3-pack Pokeball tin collections at Costco. And at the time, those tins had XY Evolutions and Roaring Skies and some other set in there. So like some really good packs. And like my wife went to bed, and so I was just like at my desk, like watching some live streamer, and I was just got the itch to open some packs. And so I ripped like a full box of Evolution, Sun and Moon base, and then like probably 6 or 9 of those tins, those Pokeball tins. So I it was altogether like almost 100 packs, and pulled some really cool stuff. But at least back then I thought it was so cool. I pulled a Hollow Charizard from Evolutions and one of the Mega Charizards. I pulled the full art Umbreon from Sun and Moon base with that black background. And I pulled a full art Rayquaza from Roaring Skies, and it had like a big print defect on the top, like it had like a terrible cutting error on the top of it. So fun, like the euphoric, like oh my gosh, like opening packs feeling for the first time ever. That was really cool. Another cool time. I remember going out to all the Targets really early when Champions Path dropped. And I went to like 3 or 4 Targets and Walmarts, never found anything. I was looking for the ETBs. I really, really wanted one of those Charizard V promos and never found any. And then like months later, I caught a discount rack at Target that had double V boxes that has 4 Champions Path packs in it. And so I picked up 2 of those, and for like, I don't know, $30 or whatever, because they were on clearance or something. And first pack in, first box, I pulled the Rainbow Charizard VMAX, and like I was like so hyped. In fact, I had no idea really what I had pulled was like the second chase from the set, like one of the only good cards worth getting from the entire set. So that was really fun. And then, you know, later on, as I got more and more involved, I opened so much Evolving Skies, guys. Like boxes and boxes and ETBs and hundreds of blister packs that I was able to pick up on Pokemon Center when they would do drops. I just opened so much. I've pulled every single cool card from Evolving Skies, except for I never pulled Altart, Rayquaza V, or VMAX, but everything else I pulled at least once. 2 Moonbryons, both of them graded 10, Sylveons, Glaceon, VMAX, all the good stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, so many fun experiences getting back into the hobby with opening packs.
Getting back in and opening packs it's one of the feeling. It's sort of like you know when you like play a great game or you watch a show or something for the first time and then you're like, oh, I want to like watch other people experience that for the first time. Like I'll never get to experience that for the first time again.
Yes.
It's totally that. I had the exact same thing with I've told the story before of ripping Obsidian Flames and on Valentine's Day 2 years ago, and then going back the next day to buy more to rip, and then and that just like that was the catalyst to get us to where I am today.
Yes.
Yeah, just the feeling of like one of those early packs I pulled the from Obsidian Flames, the regular hollow Scizor, and we were like,
Yes.
oh, let's go. He's a
Oh,
5-cent card.
Scizor's so sick.
Yeah. I don't think I even like realized at the time that every pack had a hollow in it until you've opened a couple boxes. But yeah, I love that, man. The chat is sharing as we've asked them to, so I want to highlight a few of them. Fiat World, that sucks. Chomps never being able to open a first ed pack. I gave away my first ed unlimited PC binder to my nephew. He doesn't know what he did with it.
Oh no.
Super Junk, I'd been buying LC cards raw for cheap over the last 10 years. Decided to sell most of them last year to help a friend open his store. Would have loved to have them now, but glad to help a friend. You know, Super Junk, I mean, that's awesome. I'm curious to hear how the store is going. You essentially can't take these things with you. People will not talk about your LC collection at your funeral, but they might talk about the time you sold your LC collection to get them started. And those sorts of things are actually what life is about. So I think you made the right call. Zion got into collecting again when my wife was pregnant. She was limited. We fell in love with it again. She's 6 months pregnant, not old. Daughter is 6 months old, rather. Daughter is 6 months old now. We're about to vend our second show to help our daughter's future. Awesome.
Very cool.
Super Junk sharing a best memory. Wife and I had a YouTube channel back in 2014 and 2017. Proposed to her by hiding a message in one of the packs we opened. And have that picture on video. Nice.
That's sick. Shout out Rocket Squad on YouTube.
Love that. Bob Goblin making the decision last year to start selling bulk and fund my then 6-year-old new obsession exposed me to so much stuff I missed over the last 20 years, all the way back in now. Yeah, Bob Goblin, I think local to me and came by, I think with your son to recent shows. So it's awesome to meet you guys, and I love that. Yeah. We won't read. We'll come back to these. We'll kind of stagger for time. But senior football, last one for now. My core memory was my brother ripping 3 birthday packs on his 9th birthday that our mom gave him. He opened his first pack and got a first edition Charizard. Unfortunately, he lost it.
No.
Yeah, classic story. That's like Jake. I'm sure you get this too. Almost anytime I tell somebody what I do for work now, they go, "Oh man, I had a Charizard," and I'm like, "Okay, I mean." Maybe not the Charizard, but like, yeah, everyone had a Charizard. They're like, what would it be worth now? I'm like, if you messed it up and then you didn't store it very well, a few $100, like you probably lost 250.
For me, dude, like, okay, when I was of age to like get my first fascination in collecting, my dad did let us get baseball cards. But we didn't ever really buy any booster packs. We would buy repacks. And there was these companies that would basically just repack like, 150 commons and uncommon baseball cards and give you like one guaranteed foil kind of thing. And that was like a really cheap way just to get a ton of cards. And that's kind of what mattered to me as a kid, is just like having tons and tons of cards. But like the interstellar scene of Matthew McConaughey just like pounding on the bookcase, like, no, no. Like, that would be me if I could go back in time and just like look at me walking by just boxes of Crystal Guardians and Power Keepers and Holland Phantoms and Aquapolis and Skyridge as they're sitting at Target, so that I can go and buy like literal, like overprinted repack trash sports baseball cards instead of the best Pokemon generations of all time. Like, that's the age I was. I was, 9, 10, 11 years old when I'm buying these baseball cards, and I'm literally walking past e-reader sets to get to them. Horrible.
Painful. I'll share some highs. I kind of went with specific like cards that represent something in the journey over the last few years for me. Maybe I'll do two that are really similar. The behind me, this Latios GX, the Japanese PSA 10 Lovebirds. This was just a grail for me at the time. This was a time when spending $1,500 or so on one card was really a lot of money. It's still a lot of money, but it really was at that time. And nowadays they're like 7, 8, 9K, depending on when you look at the sales. So this is another one where like this is one of those several cards where I'm really happy to just own it at a pretty low cost basis relative to its current price. And it's the kind of thing that you could get priced out of it. I probably wouldn't sell it unless it went up a lot. And it's very similar for me with the Lugia Neo, the Japanese PSA 10. I had multiple copies of that at one point. I bought it at, actually, when I met you in person for the first time, Jake, at LA Collecticon.
Yeah.
I bought a Japanese Neo Lugia 10 for $1,000.
From had like a Bulbasaur, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
I did buy from Bulbasaur, but not that card.
Okay.
And then that had like a partial swirl under his wing, and I eventually someone sent to me a full swirl copy that was selling a few months later, and so I wanted to kind of upgrade to a better copy, so I paid 2,000 ish for that and sold the previous one for about 2,000. So kind of cost basis of 1,000 net. And those cards, I think I could probably get somewhere between 8 to 9, 10K ish. Like, those cards are selling for like 7K plus with old certs with no swirl. So
wow.
Yeah. So another one where I'm just happy to own it. I don't even know what the value would have to be for me to consider selling it. And so that's very like collector highs things where I'm like, I'm into it for an amount that I don't have to think about. Yeah. And I don't have to think about the price when it goes up too much. And I don't know, even if the card was 20K, I'd be like, yeah, how cool is it? I paid 1K for my copy essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are two kind of really related examples of some collecting highs of like getting into things that you want because you took action. And some of my lows will be due to inaction, which we'll go into in a little bit. But yeah, just some examples of things. I'm sure everyone's got their versions of this too, where it's like, oh, I just bought something because I wanted it, and then now it's worth way more, and that's cool, but I kind of don't care. Like, I just always wanted the card, whether it was 1,000 or 10,000 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, I want to talk about like some of the grading wins that I had, and also grading lows.
Sure. I'm gonna run the restroom real quick while you do that.
Yeah, so everyone has pretty much heard of the Gold Star Mewtwo situation. Cracked it out of a Beckett 9.5 and sent it into PSA Express. Came back at 10, had like a nice swirl on the tail, 10 cert Gold Star Mewtwo PSA 10. Got that back in, I think it was February of last year that I got it back from PSA, and then sold it at Collecticon in March. Wow. I mean, obviously so fun to grade a vintage card, like a serious vintage grail like that. Was really, really fun and exciting. And then, obviously there's the regret of selling it in the first place. I was talking to Ricky about this earlier though. Like, it's just impossible to say if I would have kept it throughout all of the price increases to be able to like realize the fact that it's gotten to like over 100K in value now. So who even knows? But some other big cards that I've graded. This one right here. This is a shiny Rayquaza Poncho, and I just got this one back from PSA in my most recent sub. Bought this card raw at the last Collecticon, or not Collecticon, Front Row Vegas that we were at, and put that in the sub and got that one for my cost basis into the raw copy, because I bought this card and then some other cards from the guy. And so like I've already since I think I flipped all the other cards that I bought from him, like either the same day or the next day. And so my cost basis into the raw copy of this poncho is like literally $1,000. And so I've graded it now, and that cost me basically another 1,000. So my cost basis on a PSA 10 16 cert shiny ray poncho is 2K, which I think is 10% of its current value. So that's a really exciting come up. But I've also had like huge grading misses. You know, lots of the cards that I've sent have just gotten horrible grades. Like I sent in that e-card promo Venusaur, Japanese. It's like one of the variations of Expedition Venusaur. And I paid pretty high for the raw copy because it was mint. Sent it in as part of like a express sub. They graded it a 4. So like just, you know, totally crushed on that. But I got the card back. It's literally mint. I have no idea what they were seeing.
Did you crack it out?
Yes, of course. And then another card, you know, you guys know about my legendary collection Venusaur situation. I made a video about that. PSA 10, I bought it for either 1,400 or 1,600. I'm trying to remember. But I sent it in just to get reholdered, and they claimed it, you know, they were worried about tampering, and so they refused to reholder it. They either were going to regrade it or send it back to me raw. I mean, that card's over $20,000 now. And one of the reasons I wanted to reholder it is because I was thinking about keeping it. I really liked it. And so, like, you know, essentially that it erased at the time essentially like $1,500 worth of value or so, based on what the value of what it was when I got it back. But current value, like, you know, huge loss. So that was definitely a low. What about you? Any others you wanted to share? Any grading?
I have one that's kind of both a high and a low. It's kind of similar to your Mewtwo, and I've told the story before, so I'll be short. But a high on grading was the Bugsy Scissor behind me. I've had about you know, including grading fees, probably into that card for like $100, and it was like a $350 10 at the time I got it back, and it's got a nice swirl on it. So I was like, I'll just keep it. I like it. It's a great card. And they're like $5,000 now.
Wow.
I mean, like if you had given me 10 guesses as to what the price of that card was going to be a year and a half later, I would never have gone that high in 10 guesses. So it's another one where like I'm into it so cheap, and I just like the card, and I think eventually if it went to something absurd like over 10K, I probably would sell it. But other than that, it's another one where it's like a win. But in that same shipment, I got a 10 on a base set Charizard Japanese that I sold like very quick. I was probably into it for $400 or $500 after grading fees. It was about a 4.5K card at the time. Sold it for that amount locally. And I mean, right at the time you're like, 10x, take profits, run. And yeah, probably I've flipped that enough time. But like those cards less than a year later, I think were in the 30K range, which is around what they are now. So I mean, it would be like I would lose my mind if I graded a card now and it got a 10 and it was a 30K 10, and I was into the card for a couple $100 or whatever.
Yeah.
So that one's kind of painful. So it's a little like your Mewtwo one where it's like, that one was, I think I kind of got like, I didn't want to keep the card. I like base set Zard, but I didn't feel like I needed to collect the Japanese PSA 10 base set Zard. So the collectors get paid thing happens when you collect these things that you like, and you just hold on to them because you like them. And sometimes you miss out when you're just like, I made a business decision there, and like probably if I just held on to it, it would have had the exact same result, but for zero effort if I just held on to it, which is a little painful. Like probably turn that 4K into 30K at this point, but I had to turn that over 10 times to do it.
Yeah. Pokebro. Yeah, hoarders get paid as well.
Yeah, hoarders do get paid. And that's you know, some people in the chat I think are sharing stories of like, my mom's a hoarder and kept all our cards. My PC from 27 years ago is found this year, and if only my brother let me hold on to his first Ed Zard. I think there were some other examples of like losing like not holding on to things. So, hey, I'm Adam says, me and my brother used to open a ton of WotC EX era packs when we were younger. Dad threw away a garbage bag full of cards years ago. I still have some, but I often wonder what was in that bag. Yeah.
You'll never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. In your mind, you hope it's just a bunch of Geodudes and Metapods, but let's be honest, there's probably some hollows in there.
If it makes people feel any better, most of the time that is what it is, right? Like
Yes.
when people bring me a collection and it's in a rucksack or one of those old 3-ring binders with no sleeves and the pages and the 3-ring binder, most of the time, a vast majority of it is worth nothing. So like that, on average, that's what people had. So hopefully that take some solace in the idea that there wasn't actually tons of value there. But
one time, a high for me on something that I eventually finally bought, that I just kind of pulled the trigger on and made a deal on, is this guy here.
Yeah.
So this is Silver Dialga, Phantom Forces, PSA 10. This was a card that, like, pretty early on when I got back into the hobby, I decided that I really wanted. And I remember looking up comps for it, I think in 2022.
Yeah.
And it was like $3K. At least that's what, like, there was a listing or two at $3K. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I will never be able to afford that. I'll never be able to justify paying that much for, a single card that I just have very recent. Like, I think I just discovered that it existed because I wasn't collecting or opening packs back then, but I'm a huge fan of Dialga because of my experience playing Diamond version back when I was a kid. I really, really loved playing Gen 4. And I think this is the quintessential Dialga card, in my opinion. And so I remember seeing it go for $3K, or like it was available for $3K. I was like, there's just no way I'll ever be able to own that. And then, as I got more into the hobby and then started vending and stuff, I still never really saw one, but I was like aware that like certain people had one here and there. Certain vendors that I was familiar with had owned one and sold one. And, I saw the price kind of creep up. I was like, oh, now it's a 10K card. Now it's a 12K card. And this was back in January. I saw one at Front Row in San Diego. A fellow vendor friend had one. And I was like, dude, please come over to my table. We got to make a deal work for this card. And at the time, there was a sale, I think in December, for like 14 or 13K. And then there was an active auction the weekend that I picked it up. And I picked it up at a value of, I think, 16K. And then the auction ended at 19. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, you can do well on big cards. I'd never really bought a big card for a big price.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think the most recent comp was 50,000. And when I got it, once again, I was like, I'm just buying it and justifying it with the fact that the stuff that I traded into it, I've gotten for a good price. So my actual buy into this card is about $10,000 of like actual money, because that's what I was into the stuff that I traded into it for. And I was like, yeah, that's just kind of like a sunk cost of 10K. And now it's a huge come up. It's like I had no way to anticipate that. And there's a bunch of vintage cards that have done that over the last little while.
Yeah. I don't know if you have any examples in mind of ones that you, with the flip side happened, maybe like that almost became the flip side story for you, where you didn't buy it at 3 and you could have like just as easily not bought it at 15 or 20 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Well, a good example of this is like in February. So just a month later, I was like really considering buying that Chinese Mew for 18,000. A vendor sold it for 18,000. And I didn't pull the trigger on it, and then it went as high as 70.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I've got an example of that for me is the Crystal Lugia PSA 10. I was very seriously considering this being my first like 5-figure purchase in early 2025, like February, March 2025. I had the means to do it at that point, though it would have represented probably at that time like a third of my entire collection value wise. But I was thinking about doing it, and I just didn't. I was just scared to buy a $14,000 card, and it was like it had gone up to 14 from 11, up from 8. So it's one of those things where it was like, oh man, it's like double. Like I'd have to pay 16 to get it. Like it's double the price it was a few months ago. That seems a little foolish. And that card recently comped for 120K. So that's just one of those where I was like, I was truly thinking about doing it. I just bought the 7, and the 7 went down 10% from what I paid for it in the next comp, and then went up 10% from what I paid for it in the
Wow.
next 2 comps. So I didn't really feel anything in either case, right? I was just looking at it. I was like, all right, I lose like $1,000, whatever. I want the card. It doesn't matter. I like the card still at 8 as much as I liked it at 9. The last 2 sales were like at 10. So, you still get into a version of it, but like that is one where like it kind of got away from me, and like it would probably truly be a detrimental move to my business and my personal finances to go for the Crystal Lugia at 10x the price I was already afraid to buy it for
Yeah.
a year and a half ago.
Yeah. Exactly right, man. Yeah, I mean, as far as like the low lights of buying stuff, yeah, I talked about the Mew. Didn't pull the trigger on that.
Yeah.
I've also bought a bunch of fake stuff, a fake Chinese Mew, fake Evolving Skies boxes. That's a low light. As far as selling stuff, I wanted just to mention last year we bought and sold a Gold Star Rayquaza 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
Felt very risky at the time. I paid for very high for what I thought, based at the time what I thought it was worth, and we did a big trade out for some other really cool cards. I think a month or so later. So yeah, I mean, that was probably a sale that like I was really excited about at the time, just because obviously there was a lot of value to realize some value increase, but the payoff and the risk, that was kind of like one of the first few times that I had paid like well into the 5 figures for a card in all cash. And it felt risky at the time, and it paid off. And those kinds of experiences can make you feel so different about the next time that you do it. Give yourself a lot more confidence, whether it's buying it to sell or buying it for your personal collection. Yeah, and Tiny Flame. Yeah, this was an iconic quote from the Jarvitar at the time that I bought that Gold Star Ray. You can build a house with all these bricks, and he was not wrong, but also he was wrong, and we did some good trades on those cards.
I want to pop back into the chat for a little, because chat's also continued to share some of their highs and lows. And folks, before we move to the Q&A, probably a good opportunity now as we start to kind of wind down our main topic, to share if you have any other highs or lows. Again, this is the point of this was to just share the relatability and the experience, the human condition of being a collector. Tiny Flame said, Gold Star Torchic Ultimate Chase, found a PSA 9 last year for 5K. I didn't buy it because I couldn't justify it. I think about it all the time now. Yeah. Everyone's got those stories. If you do this for anything longer than like a year, you're going to have those stories. Jack Seguri, recent one for me. I bought the Celebi Premium File 3 PSA 10 for $100 and later traded it out for 1,600-ish, which helped me start vending. Huge win and got me fully hooked. I love that.
Nice, Jack.
Good stuff, man. My buddy JT, late 2023, wife and I went to Japan, stopped at the Pokemon Center, was able to grab 10 packs of shiny treasures, ripped to those and a bunch more the next few days. And now this is his nights and weekends job. Shout out JT, started his new job this week.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, for new full-time job. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Seems like it's going to be a good fit. There were a few others in here. Tiny Flame had shared also, there's a lot of controversy around grading, but I love hunting for and grading cards. Scratches the itch for me. Honestly, it's been a great side income for me and my partner. Pretty sure our wedding will be about 80% covered by the money I've made grading cards. And then after that, next goal is a house down payment, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, I love hearing stories like that, because Tiny Flame, you've been in these chats since the very beginning. You can tell when people are actually passionate about the thing that we're talking about. Like you can do both. I think our audience knows that. I think the broader content consumption community, I question whether they understand that you can do two things at once. That two things can be true at the same time. Our audience knows it for sure. But I think, yeah, it's not as black and white of a world, right? Like you can love this stuff and you can love it also for what it brings you in life. Like this is it's an awesome opportunity it's affording you, Tiny Flame, and your partner. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Love it.
congrats.
Bob Goblin, buying a small collection, realizing I don't have the sales channels to realize the opportunity. Yeah, that's kind of a down, that's a low light, but hopefully it turns into a highlight, right? Like you, maybe that spurs you on to figure out how to do that. Lord of TCG was finally able to trade into an English bubble me PSA 10 this past weekend. Biggest grail. Yeah, congratulations.
Nice. What a great card.
Yeah, no joke. No joke to get into $3,000 plus is a real amount.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think my first time getting into a card that was in that price range, I think I was already like vending at a pretty high level. So like doing that as a collector who isn't like actively buying, selling, and trading frequently,
Yeah,
would be pretty intense.
yeah, I have to be similar for me, I think. Recent low for spoiled egg tart. Oh, that's unfortunate. I I love those Chinese egg tarts. You know those egg custard tarts, Jake? You ever have those?
Yeah.
They're so good. A spoiled one sounds so unfortunate.
Spoiled as a frequenter of our stream, so I'm not as enamored by the handle at this time.
Oh, okay. One of my recent lows graded a lot of reverse hollows from Team Rocket Returns and Holland Phantoms. Grades came back 7.5 and 8.5.
7.5? Like, what in the heck? Like, why even have a 7 and 8 grade scale if you can give out 7.5s? Crazy.
X cringed. Had a chance to buy my Chase in banged up condition Crystal Lugia from an LCS for a few $100 a year ago. Just didn't have the finances. Don't know if I'll ever be able to justify it now. You know what? I get the feeling. If you're not using the hobby to help fund the hobby, maybe that's a motivation to start, because you just, yeah, I mean, it doesn't, it takes less than you might think to be able to get to the point. If your only goal is to make a few $1,000 so you can buy a Crystal Lugia, raw HP condition one or something like that, you could probably pull that off in a little while, you know, a handful of months or something like that, depending on where you live. So maybe worth taking that action if you haven't yet. Enderball HE lenticular Deoxys got away from me. I was going to pick up a raw or PSA 5 for like 300 to 600. Girlfriend hinted at getting it for a Christmas present, but never picked it up. No, the pain. No. What did you actually end up getting as a Christmas present, though?
Socks.
That's what I want to know. I know. It's like socks and underwear. I mean, how much is this raw, though, now? It's like 1,000? I haven't looked at it in a while.
If it's like beat up, it's still like 1,200 or more.
Really?
I think.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm not saying this to rub it in. I just don't look at the card. I have a raw, probably moderately played lenticular Deoxys. I think I bought for $200 in 2024. It's crazy how these things move. Ender
says that they got a Destiny Realms booster box. Shout out to your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Really good gift.
Yeah. And X Cringe says, I am now, since I work at a company that has to deal with fanatics, I get cheap grading, so I'm working towards it now. Good. Love it. Good. Taking the necessary financial L's to finally get good at grading, especially with Hyper. Yeah, there's a learning curve to it for sure.
Yeah, I actually recently like went through and looked through my old subs from a couple of years ago. There's a lot of cards in there that like I for sure lost money on if they got a 9, you know, because like the 9 is like $12 and the 10 is like $55 kind of thing. So yeah, you got to learn those lessons and learn how to grade for sure.
Maybe the last one we'll feature, and then we'll move into the Q&A and wrap up. We'll maybe wrap up some of the final points on this topic. Sapphire Card House. I sold 3 pretty nice cards 6 months ago. Did not buy more cards at that time of the market. These cards 3 to 4x would have been better to hold. Lesson is I should have bought more at that time. And I think that is a really good place to transition out of our topic, because one of the things you and I, Jake, were talking about is like, no matter how you engage with the hobby, the emotions of like FOMO and FUD are going to come into play. And even if you're like a pure play collector, you're never going to sell, whatever. Odds are like you don't have unlimited funds, and you have to consider the current or the past or the future price of things in your decision making for like what you can allocate your limited funds to.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, it's like everyone has these like risks that they took that paid off, that didn't pay off, the regrets, the decision, the indecision. I think in a lot of cases right now, like we tend to regret our indecision a little bit more. So while as much as we've said on this program over the past year that it's always okay to take profits. It's rarely a bad idea to take profits on things. At the same time, like, you know, you should take action. Like if you think you want something and you have the means, just buy the thing, buy two of the thing, if you can, right? And if you can't, then maybe see if you can find a way with the hobby. There's one of the things I love about this hobby, obviously, is you can use it to gain access to those sorts of things without having to like take huge financial risks.
Yeah, like the truth is that like it's a hobby like any other, where you are rewarded for taking action and learning the lessons that come along with that. Sometimes rarely, but sometimes we liken some of what we've learned in the hobby to what we learned in our grappling experience in jiu-jitsu and MMA.
Yeah.
Like the people that are improving the most at your gym are the people that are showing up all the time and are trying new moves and refining skills. And at the beginning they'll take L's and get beat and look foolish comparatively to what they're to when they're doing what they know really well. But yeah, like just kind of a bias towards action tends to reward you in the long term. And I also think that when we share some of these PC pickups, like some of these big cards I've shown, or this booster box and these crazy cards that you've shown and stuff, it can feel a bit distant for people who aren't in the hobby.
Yeah.
But the truth is that the only reason that I'm comfortable owning these is because of all of the time and effort that I have put in to build what I believe to be sales channels, to where if I needed to get out of these things, then I could. And so it's a bias towards action. It's like really refining your risk tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
And your risk tolerance is going to be based on so many things: your experience, who your network, selling things, buying things that have gone up in the past. And so just that all that happens with repetition. And that's how you can kind of hit the goals that you want to have, and hopefully have more wins than losses in the future.
On that note, one thing I'll say about like this hobby in particular, and right now in the market in particular, is that the odds of taking W's over L's are like asymmetrically in your favor when you take action right now. And if you compare that to like jujitsu, most people quit jujitsu early because it's exclusively L's for a while.
Yes.
And that is really painful. And like most people coming into this hobby and trying to find ways to like manage the financial side of it, or maybe flip a little bit to help fund the hobby, you're gonna take enough W's to hopefully keep some wind in your sails. And just know that as it stands right now, this won't age well, in the sense that like 2 years from now, maybe we look back on this and we're like, wow, you can't do that now. But right now in 2026, action generally works out. And so like take the plunge, do the thing that feels a little bit aggressive or risky or whatever, because the odds are you're going to be rewarded for it. And this is a hobby like in jiu-jitsu or like in golf, it is so hard to do anything other than lose money. I've spent probably $10,000+ on jiu-jitsu. It's paid me. I had a sponsor once when I was competing as a white belt and a blue belt, and they paid me, I think I made $100 for winning a tournament once.
Nice.
I think I got a free mouth guard that I still use. It's probably worth about $75, but I think the net is like 99%. I just spent money, and it's very, very hard to recoup money there.
Yeah.
Golf, like unless you're a golf creator or you start a golf business or something, like you're just going to suck at, I don't like golf, but like I know golf is like this. It's a hard learning curve. You're just going to suck at it, and it's just going to cost you a ton of money, and you just do it for the love of it. And like this hobby is a space where you can do it for the love of it, and you can also engage in grading and selling or creating content, and it's like relatively in reach to recoup $1,000 here and there.
Yeah.
And that goes a really long way in getting your collection started.
Yep, that's exactly right. Yeah, the asymmetrical risk analysis, such a great point. And you can really only come to that conclusion if you dive in and experience and see what's going on out there.
Yeah. Should we go to Q&A for a few minutes?
Let's do it.
Okay, y'all. I've been starring questions, so we're going to circle back to some of the ones we've starred. Getting late, running on 3 hours, and my dogs have been like running around. They want to go out. They want to go out for their walk. So real quick, Lauren at the beginning, a €5 super chat.
Thank you, Laura.
Trying to buy my first Machamp PSA 10 slab. Wish me luck. Good luck.
Oh, do it. Machamps are always a good investment, in my opinion. They look so great.
Dude, I bought a little lot recently that has, I think it's a Legend Maker Machamp. He's like sort of reaching. It's a really cool art, and there's a swirl right next to his open hand on the like lower right corner.
Love that. Dude.
So nice.
Yeah, there's some great Gen 3 Machamps.
There are. Okay, rejectable. I haven't looked into what the jewels are, but we got a couple of happy poop and free jewels. I don't know what the jewels are.
It's a very internet thing to happen.
Happy poop to you. Thank you for the jewels, whatever those are. So JG Collects at the very beginning asked, how many people tell you it's their first time at a show each show? And what happens to the market when new people stop coming to shows as often? Yeah, good question.
How many people tell you it's their first time at a show each show? And what happens to the market when people stop coming to shows as often? People tell me that all the time.
Yeah. 10 times a show that I hear, right? It's way more than that. Not everyone's going to tell you that, but
yeah.
I probably
what
hear
happens
it
in the market when people stop coming to shows as often? In general, I guess that would signal comparative less interest and therefore comparative less liquidity. Kind of an unknowable hypothetical here, JG.
It is. I mean, if it hits a critical mass and a lot of the people that are coming to shows like keep going to shows, then you still have like the huge it could plateau or like hit an asymptote or whatever. Like that would be fine as long as there's a lot of people engaging. I think realistically right now, man, I don't see anything in the near term that suggests that as people leave the hobby organically for one reason or another, people just leave things. People don't stick to things for longer than like 18 months, even when they really love those things. As people leave and stop attending shows as much, for every one person that leaves, there's at least one person that shows up to their first show. So it's kind of like self-cleansing thing right now. I feel like it doesn't feel like doesn't feel to me like it's going anywhere anytime soon, but yeah, unknowable. So Adam, you had asked a price analysis. It's going to be kind of hard for us to do live. Price analysis on Charmander 98 from EX Dragon PSA 10. Maybe Jake, there's a future state where we do a segment where we do some tricky.
It's kind of funny, Adam. We were actually looking at this card last night on stream. I think it goes for like 4,000 or 5,000. EX Dragon, Secret Rares, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, in my opinion, are all undervalued for what they are, but they're also all hitting all-time highs. So it's just kind of a question of, do you believe in vintage low pop in general? And if so, and you like those cards, I think they're a good buy. However, I will say it goes for 4 or 5K. I bought a copy of it 2 years ago for $350. So I have price memory on these cards that kind of keeps me from being willing to buy them for 5,000 to 20,000. But that's probably just a personal problem.
Just the Dude 90 asks, I'm a new creator and YouTube has decided to stop pushing my stuff. I was getting 1 to 2K on shorts and long form varied. Recently I'm getting like 17 or 18 views, sometimes less. Any tips? So this is 2 hours of conversation with a deep audit to really, really give you a thorough answer. I will do my best to give you some ideas. Particularly with shorts, YouTube tries pretty hard to put your short in front of people. So it's really easy to get a short to like 1,000 views. Because it's almost like YouTube's almost always going to push 1,000 or 2,000 views. If it doesn't get past that threshold, that was the testing threshold. You need to dive into your analytics and look at like the retention in the first few seconds and what percentage of people stay to the end, what percentage of people like loop and watch the whole thing. My guess is that the hook or something in the middle were not correct. Like maybe the hook doesn't match what's happening 30 seconds in. So people are bailing too early, and YouTube hates people bailing on your video. It's like the number one thing. You need people that with shorts, it's not a choice out. It's an algorithm. It's not a choice platform. It's just YouTube's just pumping things out saying you might like this. And you have like 3 seconds to get the first impression of like, is this person going to like this or not? And if they don't scroll away, how fast do they scroll away? Or do they watch the whole thing twice? That's what you're trying to go for with shorts, is like, how compelling can you make the short where the person's like so confused or so intrigued that they watch it like 1.5 times through. That tends to get you a really viral short. So 1 to 2K is like you're not breaking the default barrier for YouTube's testing. And if it's giving you far fewer views now, even on shorts, it's sort of decided that it needs less data to decide that you didn't make a good video. So that's honestly if we're breaking it down, we could talk about hooks and retention and metrics, but actually the really flippant answer is the videos aren't good enough. That's my really, really harsh, like actual answer, but how you make a good video can break down to like what keeps people on the platform. Nick G247. How do you feel about holding multiple 10 to 15K cards versus having 20 to 30 diversified 1 to 3K cards?
I like bigger.
I guess it depends. Like, is it for collecting or for value? What's what exactly is the goal of the question? I think if I'm collecting, I think I would rather have 30.
Well, they use the word
3K.
diversified, right? So they're
Right,
talking
sounds
about
like
value.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, multiple. So like if you have a 100K budget, do you want 7 15K cards or 30 3K cards? And you want the value to go up, or you want liquid? I guess I need more information to answer this question. You answered bigger, better. My answer would be more nuanced than that, but that's fine. Jake hit you with the Unga Bunga caveman. Bigger, better, big, good.
And big money on cool cards.
Big money, shiny cardboard, good.
Big money, better on card.
Nick, if you can give us a little more context, I think I can give you a better answer. I didn't really give you an answer there. Trey, yes, Jake did ask if I would be interested in joining the Jarmon battle challenge, and I don't know how public we want to be about that just yet, but we're you guys are working on something, and you have invited me to join you to maybe participate in a tournament battling on Brilliant Diamond, and I am interested in that. In fact, I'm itching after this to roll
your team
to roll 1 to 210, baby. I'll text you like right after.
Good luck, bro.
Thank you.
My roll is so booty. I'm gonna get washed, but like my team wasn't so bad last time, so I can't complain. You can't always roll legendary birds.
Yeah, you got Articuno, huh?
Yeah, and the last time we did a couple of years ago, I got Moltres. So
nice, not bad.
Yeah.
Articuno maybe a little bit better. Articuno tanked the rock slide, right? The stab rock slide from Doug Trio. That was nice.
Yeah, well, Doug Trio's so bad.
I know, there's no attack. It's just fast.
Just fast.
X Cringe. Did you guys have any recommendations for arguing conditions as a buyer collector? Main use case of cards I think are damaged, but the vendor is stickered as HP. Gray area also with HP and MP.
I don't see any gray area for MP HP personally, but HP and damage definitely. I personally don't carry a lot of those cards or try to buy them, so I probably don't have the best experience here to say this is definitely HP over damage. What about you, Ricky?
Yeah, I also don't carry a lot of this sort of stuff. If I do, it's like a vintage grail, like the gold star, gold star damage or HP. At a certain point, it's like a semantic difference. A price difference between damage and HP on stuff like that tends not to be very big. So I'll tell you something that you and I, Jake, said in a private consult earlier this week or last week, if I remember right, which is basically like, I don't really, I try not to spend too much time arguing the condition. Either I agree with it's possible, right? Like I'm processing thousands of cards a month now. 1% of them, I'm just gonna miss a crease. And so if they point something out and I'm like, I said it was LP and it's got a crease, and we're like, can we do MP or HP? That's perfectly reasonable. There's no argument. It's like, yeah, oh yeah, my bad. Sorry about that. Yeah, let's go check what the MP price is. I'm happy with that. But if people are like, yeah, listen, I think this is more like damage rather than HP, I'm just gonna look at them and go, okay, price. Just talk to me about price, whatever, HP, damage, whatever. Like the definitions there are. I don't need to argue the semantics of the definitions. They're live at the table, especially if it's vending. Like time is of the essence, and so you could just politely say, whatever whatever you want to call it. Like I see it as HP, you see it as damage, whatever. Like, what are you looking to pay for it? That's all it comes down to. It doesn't. If they want to call it damaged, It's fine if they're willing to pay a price that I'm willing to sell it for. Zion, as a new vendor, what should I be looking to buy at the table? Should I buy the modern dip or try to go for other things like mid-air and vintage? It's a bit higher at the moment. How do you assess trends? We got a similar question actually from Jaywalker Legit, who super chatted $6.99 Canadian dollary dues. Do you change up your buying and selling strategy when the market dips, like with Hypermodern right now? If so, how? Big fan of both of you guys.
I actively did this, and basically, while cards are actively descending in value, I'm only willing to have one or maybe two of them in my inventory, and so I'm just buying less dupes. And then, obviously the classic negotiation with the patron of like, hey, like this card is actively going down, so my offer may not be as standard. It may not be based on the same average market price. I might have to base it off of like what it sold for today and hope that it doesn't keep going down. But yeah, I mean, all that's kind of just like common sense stuff to protect your downside.
It is, but like the conversations can be a little difficult because the people who are vending are like, I think in a lot of cases, like so far ahead speed wise and like vision wise, like visibility wise as to where things are and where they're heading. So like I'm still, yesterday someone offered me some pretty good stuff, but like a lot of modern raw singles. And they're like, I'd be happy with 85%. I'm like, yeah, man, maybe 4 months ago I could have paid you 85% on the best stuff here and like 80% on the lower stuff. But like, I wouldn't even be interested in paying 75% for this. Like I would rather pass than insult you with like the 65 for 70% that I would actually be comfortable like buying this for. If you want to sell it to me for 70%, I've got the cash. But like in terms of deploying $5,000 on a lot of things, like, do I need my third copy of a card that's gone down 20% recently and is going to go down another 20%? Probably not for more than 70-75% tops. So that's the main thing I change. I agree with Jake. Like I don't want dupes of things. I'm stuck with 4 copies of Obsidian Charizard and Paldean Charizard. I have 4s of everything in 151 right now. It's all down 20%. So yeah, I mean, in a time like this, like whatever, I'm at a show, I'm still gonna always move. Like I'm down to still take those things in, but I'm gonna adjust the percentage down when people are a little more tentative about buying them because the price is going down, so the liquidity is lower, and I think the price has room to keep going down. My old 85% offer might be a 75% offer now. That's probably the biggest change. Lord of TCG, Ancient Mew PSA 10 undervalued, has a low gem rate. It does have a low gem rate. What is it, 10 now? Like probably 3 something?
It's been 3 something for a while.
Undervalued. There's a lot of this card out there, man.
Lots.
And there's more that will 10. Like there are so many sealed copies of this card that unlike truly rare vintage cards, this population will continue to go up forever.
Yep. Yeah, there's hundreds of thousands of sealed copies still out there.
I think I like it as a 2 to 5K card, depending on what is happening in the market. Like in a bad market, 2K, crazy boom, 5K. I think much more than that or much less than that is, I would be apprehensive to touch it.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we call it there? I know there's a few other questions, but some of them are kind of smaller questions or things that I know we've answered before.
Yeah, I think we should. I think 3 hours is probably my limit these days.
Me too, dude. Though, funny enough, when we used to do these 3-hour streams and I was working at 9 to 5, I would get so tired the third hour. Like there were people in the comments sometimes like, dude, Oyama falling asleep. I'm like, I am falling. Literally, I'm falling asleep. Like I was completely on fumes for like a year and a half straight. Nowadays, I get a cool 8+ hours of sleep every night. I have no nightmares about my deals falling through. I just like have a chill day pricing cards and watching reruns of shows I already like. So I'm actually,
I feel like you're doing okay.
I feel better than I ever have as a 30+ year old for sure. But I'm with you on the, let's call it around, cap it around 3. So let's end on the elite forecast, man.
Let's do it. I'll go first. Mine's pretty simple. I keep tracking these, and someone asked about it, Call of Legends Rayquaza sale. I keep tracking mid-era Gen 3, 4, and 5 low pop hollows, specifically Gen 4. Huge numbers on like niche cards. So I'm thinking that's a trend right now. I think that's kind of just starting. I think it's going to continue. And some of these cards, Diamond and Pearl hollows, Platinum hollows, Heart Gold to Silver stuff, Call of Legends, it's like actually legitimately rare in PSA 10. So
Yeah.
I think that we're going to keep seeing some niche record sales on some of this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, Call of Legends. I mean, people were talking about Call of Legends when we were building that portfolio today. It's one of those things like I don't know if it's I haven't been able to tell if it's people trying to make fetch happen, like it's the next cool thing and they're trying to pump it or whatever. But yeah, I mean their print runs at that time were really small. Gem rates I think are generally not good on those cards. They feature a lot of popular Pokemon. And it's one of the few like not horribly pumped things.
Yeah.
Rumors of Gen 4 set next summer. Rumors.
Would love for that to be true.
Yeah. Okay. I like the Elite Forecast. Kind of not one of the less specific ones you've done in a while. You're just like this category up, but that's okay.
Thanks for your permission. Very nice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know, it's customary at this point, 27 episodes in, that we comment on the other person's Elite Forecast, and if they were anything other than extremely bold and innovative, we insult it. So
that's true. I'm excited to take my turn then.
I think the Scarlet Violet reprint news has obviously already driven some prices down recently on the rumor.
It's cool, big.
Not across all of the rumored sets yet. Like Journey Together hasn't moved. I expect there to be 10 to 15% more dip to go in the near term. And the dips will be materially more substantial on the ETBs and bundles rather than the booster boxes. And I think we're talking about a 5 to 10%, like a 10 percentage point difference, which will be, if they drop 20%, like a 50% difference, where the booster boxes will kind of retain their value a little bit more because they're not going to get printed. We talked about this a little earlier, but I suspect the reprint wave form factors are going to focus on not booster boxes.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what's going to hit big box, which is going to have the chance to be actually a retail price. Yeah, I agree completely. As new modern sets get printed more, the prices go down a little bit. Pretty fabulous take.
You try to... You're so sensitive, Jake. You have to lash out as soon as if someone takes a swing at you, you're swinging back.
I'm petty like that with people that I know, you know.
I love it. I'm the same way. I love it. All right, buddy. You call it there?
Yes, thank you all for being here. This was a fun chat. We wanted to bond with the chat a little bit and understand a little bit more about your guys' experience in the hobby, the highlights, the lowlights. At the end of the day, at least for my side, I think Ricky's the same way. We're just getting started still. We still got years and years of being in the hobby. It's going to change forms and shapes over time, I'm sure. But yeah, we're just getting started. We're really grateful to be here with all of you. Thanks for all the support over the lifespan of this program. And we will see you back in 2 weeks for more Midweek Machamps. Until then, have a great summer, guys.
We love you.
Bye.